Trey Mathick, thank you very much as we welcome you to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Ram Trucks. And you are watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. A windy night in Seattle. Welcome to the great Pacific Northwest and a critical Pac-12 matchup. Oregon State's in town, and the Beavers are ranked for the first time in the college football playoff poll era. Home team is Washington. The Huskies also 6-2. Both programs 3-2 in conference play. And they have combined to win 5 straight games and technically still in the mix to win the Pac-12 championship. So great to have you with us. Paul Carcaterra on the sidelines, Andre Ware, Roy Philpott. Welcome to our broadcast position. And Dre, this game's got all kinds of juice. Two teams playing some great football the final month of the regular season. At the right time as we start to talk about bowl season and getting bowl eligible. Well, these two don't have to worry about that. They're already sitting in that seat. And this should be another Friday night exciting football game. Oh, we've had so many great matchups this year. We'll start with the home team. Starting quarterback Michael Penix Jr. You know what he's done this season. He leads the country and the free world in passing yardage, over 366 yards per contest. Yeah, one of the best arm talents in the entire country. Moves defenders with his eyes as well as anybody that plays the position, and throws darts behind it consecutively in this one. You see, can he do it in play action? Absolutely. Turn his back, flip his hips, move coverage, and then throw strikes. The accuracy is just off the charts with Michael Penix Jr. And then here, does it with extreme speed, moving a safety out of the middle of the field. You see the clock there. It's gone in under a second. One of the best passes that we've seen this year. The kid can straight up throw the football. Oh, the left-hander can spin it. It is poetry in motion. He's facing a defense tonight, too, Dre, that has been rock solid in Oregon State. The Beavers boast one of the best defensive units in the Pac-12. Yeah, it's the strength of this football team, and they just hold opponents, only giving up 8 passing touchdowns all year long to match 10 interceptions, more interceptions than touchdowns allowed. And they're good on the ground as well, giving up or just forcing teams, the last 3 conference opponents, under 200 yards, 197 to be exact. And the turnover chainsaw is in the house. That's all you need to know on a Friday night kickoff. Coming up next, turnover chainsaw. Beavers are ranked for the first time in the CFP poll era. They're also ranked in the AP poll for the first time in a long time, facing UW tonight. Talk about the Beaver Dam yet. Held strong back in the day, a final ranking of 15th in 1968. Then a drought. The dam broke, unranked the entire time all the way through 2000. That drought ended in 2000 with Jonathan Smith at quarterback getting it done. Beavs finished 4th in the land. Dam broke again from 2013 to 2022 until this week, where Oregon State back in the AP Top 25 at number 24. Great to have you with us. Andre Ware, Roy Philpott, Paul Carcaterra down on the sidelines.
Well, Roy, Oregon State two-way star Jack Coletto told me this week he gets an adrenaline rush every time he runs out to the field, and the entire stadium knows he's getting the ball. Well, there's an extra rush today. He's back in Seattle, where he grew up, playing in front of friends and family. But don't just expect ground and pound with Coletto on offense. He was recruited by Oregon State as a quarterback, and he has the arm strength to pass when he's in that Wildcat. He does have the nickname the Hammer, and he plays linebacker too, so don't worry. You will still see him smash people tonight on both sides of the ball, making him a complete unicorn in college football today.
Kark, he's so aggressive, and he will protect his family's spaghetti sauce recipe as well. More on that as we go through. As a little tension between Kark and the Coletto household this week.
This has been your guy. You watched him on film. You love some number 12.
Washington won the toss and deferred. Beavers get it first as we take a look at tonight's Player Spotlight, brought to you by Tide. Damian Martinez, Dre, the freshman running back from your neck of the woods down in Louisville, Texas, getting it done.
He is dynamic, over 500 yards already and just 79 carries. Rushed for 370, has rushed for 372 and 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games. It's kind of taken over. They've had a running back by committee, but he has really stepped up.
Branson, the quarterback, and there goes Martinez right on cue, and he picks up 10 yards and a first down. The tackle by Turner, that's what number 6 in white can get done tonight.
Yeah, and this is what this offensive line can do. It's an experienced group in front of him. He is a dynamic talent, but the 5 guys in front of him, Bray Brewer, Levengood, Kuiper, and Fauga, those 5 guys can open up a holes. They just like to mash people is how they say it.
Well, Branson under center, play action fake, and the pass incomplete. Heavy pressure coming quickly, and a penalty marker flies as well. Latuli Nasinoa applying the pressure to force goal Branson's hand.
I mean, quick pressure.
Holding, number 3, defense. 10-yard penalty. It's an automatic. First down.
Jeremiah Martin, the guilty party, and that's a costly mistake.
He found himself in a mismatch as he's an edge player trying to check a tight end going out, and not a place where you would see Martin in a lot of situations.
Bingle Branson continuing to do an outstanding job filling in for the injured Chance Nolan, still in concussion protocol, getting closer to returning. He's undefeated in his last 3 starts and doing a great job coming off the bench.
And part of that's because he's taking care of the football, making good decisions.
Martinez, the Texas native, rumbles into UW territory in a gain of 9.
You know, it doesn't take me long to start talking basketball, but the basketball coach at Louisville High School took care of my group when we were there for a tournament. That's where Damian Martinez was at in high school last year. Coach Toby Martin, let's give a shout out to him and a big thank you for letting us use his gym and get my kids ready to play when we were in a tournament there in the Dallas area.
We're making deals right now on TV. I like it. Sean Fenwick checks in on 2nd and short. And Fenwick gets a touch right through the A-gap, and that's a first down. And Oregon State, impressive right out of the gate. The tackle by Cam Bright.
Yeah, injuries have kind of slowed Deshaun Fenwick. He's a downhill physical runner, good at pass protection. You can see the size. It's 6'2", 226. You know, he just kind of looks the part when he's in the game.
Fenwick, the transfer from South Carolina. Jam Griffin checks in, a transfer from Georgia Tech.
Well, remember, we told you they go 3, now 4 deep at running back with Trey Lowe back in uniform.
Old school I formation. Coletto checks in as the fullback. Ball on the turf. And a scramble after the fumbled exchange. And the recovery made by Griffin. That's going to be a loss of 2.
Well, it looked like Jack Coletto actually knocks the ball out of the quarterback's hands as he's going to lead block. He's taking on Cam Bright. But get him in that hole a little bit faster. Just hit him right on the hip.
3 running backs on the field already for the Beavers. Oregon State ended a 9-game losing streak to Washington last season in Corvallis. Empty backfield on 2nd and long. Goal Branson. First completion. Into the flats goes Harrison. Trayshawn Harrison picks up 3.
Yeah, he's their leading receiver. It's just been good. Has over 1,000 yards receiving at Oregon State after transferring in from Florida State. Good size at 6'1", 191 pounds. This is where, you know, we kind of advantage Washington when you have a 3rd and long. Oregon loves to run the football. They love to be in 3rd and medium to short. This is kind of uncharted waters where on 3rd downs, they're about 42%.
3rd down and 10. Griffin and Martinez in the backfield. Cole Branson surveys, pass nearly intercepted. And the UW secondary now gaining health. A penalty marker comes out as Jordan Perryman nearly picked that pass off.
Yeah, he's been banged up a little bit lately. Team's #1 corner. They got him back for the UCLA game. But it's going to be an interference call.
Pass interference, number 1, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. It's an automatic. First down.
And just kind of goes through the receiver, Silas Bolden, the intended receiver here for Oregon State. You see him right there. screen, and then makes a nice break on the football. Just goes through the intended receiver Bolden.
Shoved them down.
Yeah, keep this drive alive for Oregon State.
2 first downs via penalties so far. They'll fake it to Martinez. The screen to Harrison. Tumbles down near the 21.
And Harrison only touched it 2 times in their last game against Colorado, and they want to make sure he's touching it more than that. He's excellent after the catch. So they'll get him quick screens, tunnel screens, those things to just get the ball in his hands, just to get him working.
After a gain of 6, the tackle by Trice, that's good news for Washington fans.
Yeah.
He was a game-time decision. We did not see him in warm-ups. He's on the field now. Handoff Martinez with a big gap and a first down.
He played in a really good high school program. And the coaches talk about his ability to protect the passer. That's how he got on the field so fast, because we know he can do this. Read blocks, great vision, will engage defenders, but can you protect the quarterback as a young player? How many times did we talk about that on Friday nights with young players?
You love talking about pass pro.
Because I want to be protected, my man.
Right, but I like to talk about 3 touches for 29 yards so far.
I love that too.
Martinez cuts it back against the grain. A little shimmy. Ushered out near the 3. Close to another first down.
Check out this move for a young freshman player. And this is where you know he's coached so well. Switches the ball from the inside hand back to the outside hand, so a defender closing from inside out can't strip the football. That's like junior season type stuff. Hard to get a youngster to do that.
First and goal. Jack Coletto checks back in as the fullback. Go Branson under center. Now with the offset eye, they'll feed the freshman. Martinez.
I think he's in.
That was Fenwick actually that touched it, and he's got a touchdown. So Deshaun Fenwick checks in, 5th score of the season, as the pile was shoved across the goal line.
Line. We told you they're good at mashing people, just controlling things once they get inside the red zone. Primarily a run team when they get down here, and the size of Fenwick and the push of the offensive line gets Oregon State on the board.
Everett Hayes on to try the point after. Oregon State amassing 44 yards on the ground on that drive. It was Martinez that did the bulk of the work. Fenwick with the honors, reaching the end zone.
Impressive drive for Oregon State.
And Hayes up and through. Well, Washington scored on every opening possession of the season this year. Oregon State on the road, very impressive, as you said, Andre. They grabbed the early advantage. Back here in Seattle, the 3rd oldest rivalry in the Pac-12. Originally met back in 1897. Beavers, known as Oregon Agricultural College, defeating UW back in the day 16-0. Jonathan Smith would take that.
Been playing a long time, you're saying, right?
1897, a long time ago. I am saying that.
Yes, indeed.
How impressive was that opening drive by the Beavs?
Impressive. 9-play drive, touchdown drive, 7 runs, only 2 passes of the 9 plays, and 2 costly penalties for UW.
Crowd still filing in at Husky Stadium, the greatest setting, they call it. And a short kick. Davis. Cameron Davis with a gap. Down near the 34. And don't forget, coming up, ESPN's featured matchup on the gridiron. Bryce Young, number 6 Alabama, square off against Jaden Daniels, 10th ranked LSU. Live from Death Valley tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, also on the app. Crimson Tide have won 5 straight in Death Valley. What a scene it will be. And Alabama outside of the top 4.
That's going to be a close football game.
No question. Look at the great matchups over the years. Our first look tonight at Michael Penix Jr., leading passer in America. Cameron Davis, the running back. over the left side, tripped up after a gain of 3. Now Penix, the transfer from Indiana, his story well documented, overcoming 2 ACL tears, an AC sprain, now healthy. Those are his numbers.
It makes you want to root for him. You know, when you battle back from injury the way he has, disciplined player, very mature, and kind of takes a business-like approach to the position.
Officially a gain of 2. Penix a quick strike. Dunze has it. He's got a first down on a nifty move ahead of the 48.
And it doesn't matter how hard the wind's blowing in here. This young man, he can absolutely throw the football. And I'm shocked that he's not getting more love around the country than he's getting, because I don't know of a player that I've watched and turned the film on that throws it better than Michael Penix Jr.
You mentioned the wind gusting up to 40 miles an hour tonight. And on your screen from left to right, that could be an issue for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I always wanted to throw into the wind, because when you throw from behind it, or if it's behind you, the ball tails on you.
Cameron Davis, a great catch. Ball came out. Did he have possession? Oregon State hops on it, and they will say incomplete.
And dodging another early mistake here for the Huskies.
Well, Penix and the arm strength on display. Too much zest on that one.
An incomplete pass.
Davis.
Second down.
Completed the catch here. I don't think he ever had possession. He's trying to tuck it away, but unable to do so.
Our rules expert Matt Austin, what did you see?
Yeah, I agree that's an incomplete pass. He never did get full control of it. He was never hit. The ball came loose, so that's a good call on the field.
Matt back on the East Coast, properly caffeinated tonight, and now Oregon State will call a timeout to maybe
get their defense aligned. This is a very, very talented group for Oregon State.
We'll step aside. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Huskies, trailing early.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
The incredible Terry Baker.
Great Terry Baker.
Still to date the only player to win the Heisman and also play in the Final Four in basketball. Talk about a 2-sport standout. Incredible.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year back in '62.
And he topped it off with the #1 overall pick in the '63 NFL draft by the Rams.
Pretty special.
Some player right there, baby.
Yeah. Great to be with you on this Friday night. Road team out in front here in Seattle by a score of 7-0. 2nd and 10 out of the timeout called by the Beavers. Wayne Talapapa, transfer from Virginia, in at running back. Penix eludes pressure. Seaver fell down, and that was Jalen Polk.
And the crowd wants interference. I think it was just a little bit of turf monster. From the slot comes Polk. And he's crossing. Not sure if.
Yeah, Rajon Wright may have clipped him for a second.
Maybe.
3rd down and 10.
Good 3rd down here.
Huskies have won 2 straight. It's Arizona on the road at Cal. Coming off an open date just like Oregon State. Penix steps up, delivers a pass short of the line to gain. Brought down at midfield. That was Taj Davis. And that'll bring up 4th down. Fisher Morris with a tackle.
Yeah, this is where Oregon State wants to get you, 3rd and long, because they're 37% when they get you into these types of situations and force you to drop it off underneath, rally up, and make one heck of a tackle.
Gain of 5 on 3rd and 10. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, this is the first time all year that the Huskies didn't get points on their opening possession of a football game.
And just punt number 6 in the first half of all of their games. The offense has been extremely efficient.
Off the side of his foot.
Jack McAllister sends it out. Decent field position.
Excellent field position for Oregon State.
Punt of just 18 yards. Coming up this week on Sunday NFL Countdown, Chris Berman goes one-on-one with the MVP favorite, Josh Allen. Plus Matt Hasselbeck hits the field to go all access with Kirk Cousins. 6-1 Vikings kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown. 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, and the Monday Night Countdown crew gets you set. The Ravens and the Saints, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, both on ESPN. Also on the app. Beavers defeated the Huskies a season ago, 27-24. Play number 10 in this first quarter. So far, 7 runs, just 2 passes. Jam Griffin on the toss to the edge. A gain of 1, maybe 2, and that's it. Dominic Hampton set the edge that time for the Huskies D.
Well, that's the 3rd different back that's touched the ball tonight. They'll go 4 deep. They just got Trey Lowe back after an injury, sidelined him in the opener. But Griffin, he's excellent vision, quickness. He is dynamic when he gets it in his hands.
2nd down and 8. Branson will be flush. Swatted down. Jeremiah Martin said not tonight.
He's making up for that holding call early in the game.
3rd down.
He is some player. One of the better defensive linemen. He's an excellent pass rusher, as you see. And then he has the presence in mind when Branson raises that right arm. Get your hands up.
Thought he was going to wave the finger for a moment like the Kimbe Mutombo back in the day, just rejected the pass.
Yeah, they told us that the defensive staff for Washington they expect a big game from him. Got to play the run tonight, but they also need his pass rushing skills to go along with that.
Huskies Stadium getting loud. Hand off straight ahead, and they'll stop that play. It never got started. Boy, there was a lane there.
How about 3rd and long, handed off to your back, Martinez? And it looked like he was getting ready to house one. Maybe it looked so good because everybody else heard the whistle except me sitting here.
There's no timeout called by Oregon State. It's 3rd down.
Michael Mothershed, our referee.
Oh, wow. Wow, just stop the action. I'm thinking at the very least, Martinez is going to pick up a 1st down. Some back they have at Oregon State. We're going to talk a lot about this young man in the years to come, because I think he's just going to continue to get better.
He's got a little Steven Jackson in him.
And he's only got 1 senior on the offensive line. That's his right guard, Brandon Kuiper.
3rd down and 8. Let's do it again. Pass will be reeled in by Anthony Gould, and that's enough to move the sticks. A gain of 11.
We told you about Gould and Bolden. Those are 2 guys they want to get involved in the passing game. Simple, a curl route. And he's just going to hook up outside, work his way back to the football to keep his body between the ball and Devon Banks, the corner to that side.
Martinez off the right side into Washington territory, and that'll be a gain of 9.
Andre, you're hyping up Damian Martinez, and you're right. Well, last week he finished with a career-high 178 yards rushing. 2nd time in a row he passed the century mark. That was against Colorado. Keep in mind, no one really recruited this kid. He was a 3-star from the state of Texas. Only 3 Power 5 offers: Georgia Tech, Kansas, and Oregon State. And are the Beavers lucky to get this guy? He's a stud.
Amen to that, brother. And he had 3 touchdowns to go along with that 178 you mentioned.
They'll fake it to Martinez. Branson wants it all. Lofts one deep and incomplete.
I'm not sure if he's got the wind behind him right now, but that's what the point I was trying to make earlier. I like throwing into the wind because you can knife the ball in. When you throw deep shots or shots down the field, the wind's to your back, the ball will sail on you. And it's harder, in my opinion, this is just me personally, of throwing the football. I liked it when the wind was against me, or into me, so to speak.
Coletto checks in as a quarterback. 3rd down and short. This has been his specialty this season.
You know who's getting it.
Straight ahead. Jams it right across the line for a 1st down. 2-yard pickup on 3rd and short. Drive stays alive.
This is where he loves and craves situations like this. The entire building knows, if you've watched or seen any Oregon State game, you know he's getting it and he's going to run it. And it doesn't matter one bit. He just continues to convert. Now, he was recruited as a quarterback. He can throw it. So a little bit later in the game, look for Jack Coletto to throw one.
Bill Branson back on the field under center. Fenwick scored a touchdown earlier, the running back. Another touch here and spun down near the 40. Cam Bright met him first.
And I think they do a nice job of just kind of splitting the carries between these backs, Griffin, Fenwick, and Martinez, where you got three hard running players coming at you every single down. He gets a rest. Here comes Martinez.
After a gain of 6, under 5 to go in our first quarter. Martinez, wide zone. Martinez stays alive, still on his feet. And the freshman shoved out near the 15, another big gainer.
Special player. Banks misses the tackle, and Martinez is going to make you pay. Picking his feet up in the hole. Great balance to go along with it, and Banks is still down around the 35-yard line. I'm not sure if looks like he kind of banged his head on the turf as he's attempting to make the tackle on Martinez.
Now, Damian Martinez actually broke his right hand his senior year in high school in the final game of the regular season.
That might have been why. Well, the final game, you would think, there would have been somebody else recruiting him other than the 3 Power 5 offers that he got.
Well, the story is they thought he was going to go on the shelf, that he would be done playing high school football entering the postseason. He said, wait a second, coach, give me a cast. We'll put a club on top of it. I'll carry the football with my left hand. And what did he do? Goes out, wins a couple of more games for him in the postseason, rushes for over 200 in one game.
Amazing.
He's been incredible to start his career in Corvallis.
Well, a lot of coaches will tell you they love guys that love the game. They love playing the game. Not what the game gives you, but what you can give the game, just for the pure enjoyment of playing. And that's what Damian Martinez is. A lot of guys would have shut it down right then and start thinking about college. No, he's all in with the team that he's on.
Fenwick gets another touch. Fenwick stays alive. A penalty marker comes in late. He's stopped near the 6 and a gain of 9 yards.
It'll be against Jake Levengood, the center.
Holding, number 70 offense.
Yep.
10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's kind of that blue collar offensive lineman, gets everything set up front for this big offensive line. Just right in the middle. He's got his hands full tonight.
Instead of 2nd and short from the 6, it'll be 1st and 20 from the 25. See if the Huskies can take advantage. Bill Branson, screen pass, Martinez. Convoy in front of him, tripped up at the 15. Penalty yardage, he'll get that back and then an additional yard.
Pretty good tackle there by Cam Bright, because he was getting ready to go for some more, and Bright steps in and makes a heck of a tackle to transfer from Pitt. Not real big, but he plays fast and he plays with great leverage.
First quarter that has been dominated by the road team. Coletto in at fullback. Fenwick, the running back. When's the last time you saw this much I formation in a first quarter? Screen. Harrison dropped near the line of gain by Perryman.
Short yardage situation. Bring in Jack Coletto, your guy, number 12. If not as the quarterback, then bring him in as the lead blocker. But nice execution here. Got to do some unselfish stuff on the edges if you're a wide receiver, and John Dunmore did that, and it allowed Harrison just about to pick up the first down. Really close. Got Coletto in there.
3rd down and a yard to go. Martinez straight ahead. We'll try to push him across the line, and I don't know.
Looked like Coletto, the lead blocker, slipped, and that allowed a defender to get in on the play and ultimately make the tackle on Martinez.
It'll be 4th down. You mentioned Coletto's slip. That's exactly what happened.
He's the lead blocker on this play, and he slips, and the edge player is able to get there. For Tui.
Beavers will go for it. 4th and 2. Coletto out of the shotgun. Stop behind the line, and I don't think so. Washington's defense stand tall deep in the red zone.
Rarely is Jack Coletto stopped, but with everybody in the building knowing that he's going to get it, Washington stout up front, didn't get pushed. It's their ball.
A 12-play drive results in no points for Oregon State, and head coach Jonathan Smith back with Andre Ware, Roy Philpott, Paul Carcaterra going for it on 4th down there instead of kicking the field goal. The analytics tell you to do it on 4th and short. What are your thoughts?
Here's my answer to the analytics. It's because everybody else's or someone else's team prospers in that situation doesn't mean your team's necessarily built for it. So that's how Oregon State kind of cuts their teeth, so to speak. So they take great pride in short yardage situations.
Huskies get it back after a big 4th down stop of Coletto. Davis, the running back. Penn accepts in a pass for a 1st down. Jalen McMillan was wide open. He went to his knees. But how about the zest on that one?
We were just talking about that. Take a shot from down here. And he's smart enough. A veteran quarterback has been in the fire. It's a tip, and it's got enough RPOs on it to start RPMs to still get there.
After a gain of 20, a dangerous toss nearly picked off. And the near side pass looking for his tight end, Quentin Moore.
And he took a shot.
John McCartan
from Spates.
Came in there at the last second.
Omar Spates gets to Michael Penix Jr. and
please reset the clock to
slow
1:31.
getting up after that shot from Spates.
Second down and 10.
He's so talented throwing the football that you want to do it every down, but you know you have to keep the defense honest with the run every once in a while.
Davis stays on the field. Left edge. Tripped up near the 35, an 8-yard pickup. 3rd down and short coming up. The stop by Cooper.
It's been more Cameron Davis when they go to the running game than Wayne Talapapa, who transferred from Virginia.
Using tempo, Davis again. Davis will try to get to the edge. A powerful finish. Close to the 1st down. Alex Austin shoved him out, and a penalty marker comes in as well. Yeah, Davis replacing Talapapa after Wayne struggled a little bit his last time out against Cal. A couple of drops.
Personal foul, targeting, number 26 defense. 15-yard penalty. That's an automatic 1st down. The previous play is under further review.
We'll check in with our rules expert, Matt Austin, to get his thoughts on this. Matt, what are you seeing in that replay?
Correction, it was number 5 defense.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. If they're talking about number 5, I don't think it's crown of the helmet. He gets below the player's helmet, and I don't think his crown makes any kind of contact with the runner. He's not defenseless, so it would have to be crown. I think this is going to be overturned.
I agree with you, Matt. He actually swung and missed. Didn't make
he
contact.
lowered his head,
just
so
he
he's
got
suspect.
a little bit low. It was right.
But you're right. I don't think there was any contact. So
it's just one of those for players. Alex Austin's the player that when you hear that that
After
penalty.
review, there's no foul for targeting. Number 5 may remain in the game. First down.
Good job with that, Matt. But when you hear your name or your number called in succession with targeting, boy, that's when your stomach just hits the turf.
Well, Austin's been outstanding in coverage this year, physical player. Also wants to take your job one day, by the way. He wants to be a sports commentator, a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Or maybe my job. Maybe he's a turnkey solution. He could do it all.
Do both, right?
Maybe some people would like that. First down, Davis again. Probing. He'll be shut backwards. No gain on the play.
Now this defense, they're so good against the pass. We mentioned it at the top, only allowing 8 passing touchdowns with 10 interceptions, but they're dynamic against the run, holding their last 3 conference opponents, Stanford, Washington State, and Colorado, to a combined 197 rushing.
Big stop by Spade, second down and 10. Quick toss to the 40. And a gain of 3, maybe 4 to Jalen McMillan. The stop by Spades once more.
That's outstanding. I mean, you think about that. 197 to 3 teams.
Could be the final play of our first quarter. Oregon State has been impressive so far. Third down. Huskies need 6. And Penix content to wait until the second quarter. Oregon State, 125 total yards so far. The Huskies just 51. Score tells the story. Washington on the move when we return. Well, 15 minutes in the books. Back in Seattle, Oregon State, 23rd in the country, leading Washington by a score of 7-0. Turned out to be a decent night weather-wise for head coach Kalen DeBoer. And rarefied air, this Oregon State defense in the first 15 minutes. On the second time this year in terms of quarters, Washington has been held scoreless.
It's amazing. They're flying high, coming in and averaging 40 points a game, and yet they go scoreless in the first quarter.
Big play here, 3rd and 6 to start the second period. Halapapa motions out, Penix an empty backfield. Penix with time, surveys, zips that one incomplete, looking for Odunze.
Another one that was tipped.
You know, you guys are giving props to this Oregon State defense, rightfully so. And Jaden Grant, one of their defensive backs, told me this week he knew that Michael Penix had the arm, the ability to stretch a defense, and he felt like it'd be a big challenge, and he wanted his team not to change who they were. Get up in the face of the receivers, press, go out in a corner in terms of like the island on which they'll play. And I'll tell you what, man, this unit is aggressive, and they are not taking any kind of consideration regardless of who this quarterback is.
McAllister dropped the snap, and the punt is blocked. Oregon State's going to take over with outstanding field position deep in UW territory.
We've seen what they can do on defense. We've watched what they can do offensively and now special teams. So it's coming in all 3 phases for this Oregon State football team.
Riley Sharp got a hand on it. McAllister just dropped the snap, Dre.
Just enough of it to give Oregon State excellent field position. What about their 33-yard line or so?
It was Westover that sideswiped and was able to get a fingertip on it. Oregon State taking over. And the dump off pass to the tight end. And that was Coletto.
What you want to call him, utility player, as they use him in a variety of ways. If you don't really have a name for what Jack Coletto means to this Oregon State football team.
Well, his nickname is the Jack Hammer. We asked him, what's your favorite nickname? He said, anything that's got the word hammer in it. After a gain of 6.
And now at fullback.
Martinez gets the deep handoff, cuts back, and stopped just short of first down yardage.
Boy, what a block by Jack Coletto. I mean, just takes a defensive lineman and drives him about 5 yards. Guy on number 12 and just getting leverage, driving a guy back. how you play the position.
Tunuufi was driven backwards by number 12. Third down and short. Branson straight ahead. And that should be enough to move the chains. It will be an Oregon State first down.
He took a shot too from Carson Bruner. He's back this week. He adds good depth to that linebacker core, but he got to go Branson on that quarterback sneak. Chopped him right down.
An important question, does the turnover chainsaw come out on a block punt? I don't think I saw it.
I just like that it's got most of the name of turnover chain, and then you add saw to it, which really fits Oregon State.
Griffin cuts it back, crossing the 20 into the red zone.
Oh yeah, that hurt Miami this year. Need the turnover chain.
4-yard gain makes it second down and a 6.
It may have hurt me more than it hurt the players, though. I just liked it. I thought it was good branding. It was great for college football and all this culture stuff. You didn't win games. There's certainly a lot of you win games by having fun.
Second down, Martinez tripped up. He just lost his balance behind the line. He'll lose a yard.
There's a couple of mix-ups in the backfield for Oregon State. Coletto would have hit him on the hip and found its way to the turf, and then just stumbling out of the gate was Martinez.
Third down and 7. Jam Griffin checks back in.
I'm betting if we get the fourth down here, Coach Smith is going to take a field goal and go up by 2 scores.
Krayshawn Harrison, top of the screen. Branson looking his way. Short of the line to gain, stopped at the 15. Asa Turner brought him down before he picked up the first down.
I mean, the field goal unit didn't even flinch to go on the field. This in route timed well before the safety could get himself into play. Asa Turner. They're going to go for it again, and they're checking the jackhammer right back in the game.
Analytics tell you to go for it on 4th and 4 or less at this point on the field.
A little bootleg. They've been trying to do it with Branson. So they can execute it here.
Under center. They'll fake it to Martinez. Branson lofts a pass. Incomplete. Looking for the freshman running back. The Washington defense comes up with a stop. 3 trips into the red zone for the Beavers. Just 7 points to show for it. Another 4th down stop for UW.
p.m.
Be here before you know it, back inside Husky Stadium. The crowd still filing in on this Friday night.
2 months away.
7-0, Oregon State leading Washington. And the Huskies for another 4th down stop.
I just don't think you can keep giving Michael Penix Jr. opportunities.
Alapapa bottled up at the line. And a gain of 1, that's it.
And I say that because on the road, I probably would have, coaching Oregon State, I probably would have taken both field goals instead of going for it on 4th down, making it a 2-score game.
You've got 3 trips into the red zone, just 7 points to show for it.
Because this offense can get going at any second.
Only 39 total yards tonight. 39 passing yards, rather, 52 total yards. Papa cut, and another short gain. 3rd down and long coming up. Jaden Grant with the tackle, and a late marker comes out. In fact, 2 are on the field deep in the secondary. Nowhere close to the actual play.
Makes you think there may have been 12 on the field.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 15 offense, his first. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. Third down. Well, that's the number that you told me.
He's down the field. Dunze and not sure who it is. Who's the other player?
McMillan.
Not 15. There was not a 15 on the field, but it's 11. Jalen McMillan that pays the price.
Third down and 16. And Washington moving in the wrong direction. Set up the middle screen. Otunze's going to have a first down. How about that play call? Better execution. Tripped up near the 35, a gain of 27 on 3rd and long.
Well, you really don't see a middle screen set up from that formation, which is the eye candy that was needed. Nice job by Dunze to get himself open in the middle, and then it's what he does after the catch that's so magical.
2 grabs, 37 yards for the leading receiver in the Pac-12 so far this season.
That's a heck of a play call by Ryan Grubb in that situation.
Dre, you wonder if that's the play that finally gives the Huskies offense some momentum.
Can't mess around with them too long, otherwise they're going to start moving it at some point.
Longest play of the game for either side. Penix all night to throw. Now steps back off the back foot, heaves it out of bounds. McMillan in the area.
Even the throwaways look good, don't they? I mean, he's got enough arm strength and he's having some fun with Isaac Hodgins, one of the defensive linemen for Oregon State, but just throwing it away from one hash mark to the sideline all the way across the field where there was a receiver working down the sideline.
Second down and 10. Screen it the other way, and this time Oregon State ready and waiting. Polk grabbed it. Spates brought him down, and they're going to lose a yard.
Spates is having some game. He's off to a good start. Tackling machine, plays sideline to sideline. He came into this game with 267 career tackles in 40 games for Oregon State. Some player.
3 stops already tonight, and a pass breakup as well. He's been active. Third down and 11 for the Huskies. Penix, quick delivery. McMillan, that's another first down into Oregon State territory.
Well, 3rd and long doesn't seem to phase a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. because he's so accurate. It's the receivers. Once they get open, he's going to hit them. And just the accuracy at 67% for the season. His last game out, he was over 70%. And it just seems automatic to him the way he delivers the football.
3rd and 16, no problem. 3rd down and 11. They'll pick up 17 more.
Allowing for substitutions here because Washington subbed in.
First play for the Huskies in plus territory. They'll swing it around. Polk, the caravan. They tripped up near the 35. Well, the play calling has gotten creative on this drive.
Raison Wright comes up in run support and chops him down, but you're right. They are pulling out all the stops here. It's a couple of good lead blocks. You got a tight end and Colt out in front blocking. Everybody doing their job, and the execution is there across the board.
Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, dialing it up this possession. Eighth play of the drive. Penix will roll it out. McMillan, double coverage and incomplete. And again, the arm strength on display there for Penix.
I hope every scout in the NFL is watching tonight.
Oladapo is in coverage.
Stay up late if you're on the East Coast because this kid is special. I mean, he can flat out throw it. This is rolling to his weak side and then throwing back, and it's a dart. I mean, that's one easily Jalen McMillan could have come down with. I mean, he let it go. I mean, it was humming to get to the jersey number 11.
Oladapo swatted that one away. Ninth play of the drive. Second down. Fake it to Talapapa. Off the pump fake. Penix again. Quick delivery and incomplete. Great coverage by Wright working against Jalen Polk.
This is the strength of their defense. I asked Trent Bray, what's the strength of this defense? Because it's so good on every level. And he talked about the back end because of the experience, multi-year starters, and it allows them to be multiple up front because they get such good play on the defensive backfield.
Rajon Wright is great length.
Hey, you've called his name several times, along with Grant. Jaden Grant is having one heck of a game as well at safety.
I wonder if Washington's thinking about 2 plays to pick up the 10 yards. Penix, incomplete. No, Dunze working against Alex Austin.
Just making its way around in terms of who gets called out. Wright, Grant, now Austin steps in and makes a heck of a play. In the middle of the field's wide open, trying to go inside to a Dunze, and what? Alex Austin's right there.
Too long for a field goal, especially with this swirling wind at Husky Stadium. 4th and long, they'll go for it. Penix just 7 of 15 so far.
Showing some blitz here. And back out.
Backside pressure. Penix wide open. First down. McMillan grabs it. A gain of 18. 3 straight 3rd down and long, and make that 4th down and long conversion.
How about the pocket presence of Michael Penix Jr.? That guy's flying around you, loose defensive lineman, and he stands right in there, cool, calm, and collected, and finds Jalen McMillan. That's about as good as you can do it right there, Roy.
First down from the 15, 4 plays of 15 yards or longer on this drive. McMillan has been electric. So has Penix. Talapapa motions in and back out. Penix the dump off. And Colt. Ten-yard gain.
A nice eye candy when you take Davis and you motion him around like that and then come underneath to Colt, the tight end. You're so busy with your eyes watching what's the running back doing? Where's he going? And then all of a sudden the linebacker gets mixed up with that look and the tight end slips right in underneath. We talked about play calling. It is on full display right now with Ryan Grubb, and he has got Oregon State on their heels a little bit. One of the better defenses in the entire country.
Dunze in motion. Davis the handoff inside the 5 on 1st and goal.
They may come back to that because the Dunze came wide open. Nobody went with a receiver. Davis will have to step off for a play as he
Number
loses
22
his helmet.
for Washington must leave one play due to his helmet.
Talapapa the running back. Penix will look towards the sidelines. 14th play of the drive coming up for the Huskies. Talapapa pushing, angling, and stopped just short of the goal line.
How many white jerseys made their way to Wayne Talapapa? They tackle in bunches. And somebody's getting there and he's holding on, but then the 2, 3, 4 defenders are coming after the initial guy gets there. Arnold gets there.
Well, Wildcat formation. Talapapa the spin and the touchdown. From 2 yards out, the Huskies an extra point away from tying it up.
it's been a minute for Wayne Talapapa, but they go the Wildcat as you described, gets right in there behind a couple of big grunts and finds his way to the end zone. And just like that, with a point after here for UW, we may have a tied up ball game. And we go all the way back to that word you've been spitting out all night, analytics.
Now hindsight can be 20/20. Peyton Henry on for the point after. Entertaining first half, albeit low scoring. Wayne Talapapa with the honors of the Wildcat formation, and the Huskies right back in this thing at home in this critical Pac-12 matchup. Pac-12 after dark. Fun start so far. Now the place to be tomorrow night, ESPN, number 6 Alabama, top 10 LSU from Death Valley, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, talented quarterbacks, outstanding offenses on display. Crimson Tide have won 10 of the last 11 against the Tigers. This game's got some playoff implications, especially on the Bama side. Currently outside of the top 4, and we mentioned Young and Jaden Daniels. They have been impressive.
They have. I mean, there's not a better quarterback from the neck up than Bryce Young. Kind of thinks the game, always has his team in a position to win. And I just like Jaden Daniels and what he's done since transferring in from Arizona State. And he's given some steady play to LSU at that position.
Bolden back deep to receive. Brady Gross pick things off for the Huskies. Bolden from the 7. Bolden shifting his way towards the 40. Penalty marker on the field as well after a 33-yard return.
This is going to be against Oregon State for a block in the back.
During the return, holding number 20 receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. Media timeout.
John Miller, the guilty party. Jonathan Smith's club gets the football back when we come back to Seattle after this. You start to take a look at the CFP top 25. Pac-12 very well represented. Tied with the lead with the SEC and the ACC. 5 teams among the top 25 ranked programs in the country. Andre Ware.
Oh, interesting. I'm looking at the end of that, maybe the American only having 2 in there.
Beavers get it back. Tied at 7. Straight ahead goes Martinez. Shifty running back gains 6 yards. The tackle by Cook.
Don't you get a feeling, though, every time he touches it, you're kind of holding your breath that he's going to explode for a big one? 10
carries, 81 yards so far. I think that would indicate that, right?
It's kind of what he's been giving you, but he still hasn't broken that long. And we know he's got the speed to do it.
Leto back on the field on offense, lining up as a wide receiver. Movement, that'll back up the Beavers 5 yards.
Full start. Number 58, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Andre, you talked about going for it on 4th down. We remind people who are just tuning in, Oregon State so far tonight, 3 drives, all 3 reaching the red zone, 10 first downs. They've been effective on the ground, only 7 points to show for all of that.
And then when you play a team that averages 40 points a game in Washington, you know, at some point they're going to get their offense going. And if you don't convert on those 4th downs, you end up like you are right now with a tied ball game.
After the penalty, 3rd down and long. Well, Branson was hit. Pass will be caught. That should be enough for a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Heavy pressure by Martin.
And Lindsey on the end of it. And this is a heck of a job by Bo Branson. Standing in there, you know you're going to get hit. And he throws accurate. Big Jeremiah Martin with the pressure. But you throw accurate to your receiver, Lindsey. He picks up the first down for you. Not a lot of people are signing up for that.
First catch for Tyjon Lindsey. Jam Griffin now the running back for the Beavers. Was enough for the first down. Well, Branson keeps it. Somehow stays alive and will simply float that pass out of bounds outside of the tackle box. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And again, pressure and a
Play is
missed
legal.
tackle.
The quarterback was out of the pocket. The ball crossed the line of scrimmage.
Martin again with the pressure.
I think Branson's tired of looking at number 3 chasing.
Well, he doesn't have to look this down because he's going to check himself out for a wrist.
2nd and 10. Martinez and Griffin join Branson in the backfield. Chance Nolan getting closer to returning to the field at quarterback for Oregon State. Was not ready tonight. And to the edge, tripped up crossing the 35 is Griffin. Be 3rd and medium after a 6-yard pickup. Well, Jam Griffin's just a fun name to say as a running back, right?
It is.
Little mojo there.
2 brothers played college football, one at Georgia Tech. The other, Jalen at Virginia Tech as a linebacker.
Huskies with momentum if they can get a stop here on 3rd and 4. Griffin motions out. And I believe a timeout was called. The last possible second by Oregon State, or Washington make that?
First charge timeout. Washington. 30 seconds.
We'll step aside.
Media timeout.
Number 2 to go in the first half. Well, confusion on the Washington defense as Oregon State sent a player in motion, and you can see why the timeout was called.
Yeah, it's the back. Who's going out with the back? Tupatala, Hampton, or Bright, and it forces them to take the timeout so you don't allow somebody to run freely down the field.
3rd down and 4. William Inge, co-defensive coordinator, talking to his team during that break extensively for a big play here at the end of the half. Handed off to Martinez, and it's going to be stacked up at the line. Latuli Naseona with a stop.
Just kind of manhandles him as he's engaged in a block, and it's like,
Second charge,
hey, come here.
timeout, Washington.
Got a place
30
for
seconds.
you,
Game
and it's
clock
on the
operator,
turf.
Please reset the game clock to
A heck of a tackle while being blocked.
Thank you.
Levengood, the center.
That's what Coach Inge was telling them about during that timeout. Ain't nothing to it. We'll be ready for Martinez. And they were. Co-defensive coordinator. We had great conversations with him and Chuck Morrell.
Really good conversations with the 2 of them, and enjoyed our time and appreciate the time that they gave us. Force a punt here, and you've got Michael Penix on the other sideline getting himself ready to go.
Now Oregon State will punt for the first time tonight. Luke Loescher checks in. Jalen McMillan back deep to receive. End over end kick. Sail out of bounds. Huskies get it back. Here's our Week 9 Monday Night Football matchup. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lead the AFC North by a game. They'll head down south to New Orleans to take on Alvin Kamara and the Saints, who just shut out the Raiders last Sunday by a score of 24-0. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the app and the Manning Cast also available on ESPN2. And hey, a little love for Marcus Peters. Played for the Huskies, and since then has been dynamic for Baltimore, right?
Yeah, he has. He is a key component in their defense.
Penix back on the field. First down. Some timeouts to work with. Zings it. Pass comes in low, but it's caught to Jackson.
You guys are talking about Michael Penix's arm, rightfully so. It is unbelievable. He's got massive hands, long arms, and he's windproof. You guys would have no clue how windy it was here in the first half. And Michael Penix's arm, it's like a hot knife through butter, man.
Pass is going to be picked off. Here comes Oregon State. And the Beavers race it all the way back to the end zone. Mascarenas-Arnold, the pick six.
He says, hey, you guys want to rave about Michael Penix? I'm going to show you a thing or two. And he goes right into coverage. And Mascarenas-Arnold is sitting right in the middle of the field, reading the eyes of the quarterback. Throws it behind Jalen McMillan, and Mascarenas-Arnold makes him pay all the way to the end zone. There was no denying him of getting in.
This Oregon State defense, Dre, you mentioned it in the open. They have more interceptions this year. And here comes the turnover chainsaw. Crank it up. Extra point is good, 14-7 the score, but they have more interceptions than passing touchdowns given up.
11th interception this year. They've only allowed 8 touchdown passes all season long. Sitting right in the middle of the defense, and is just reading the eyes of Michael Penix Jr. as he takes his eyes to McMillan. Mascarenas-Arnold just kind of floats that way as well and floats himself right into a pick six. And you know what? You got to give credit, because Clark was talking about the arm strength of Penix Jr. You got to be able to handle it. And Mascarenas-Arnold caught that like he was a receiver.
Well, Michael Penix, he talked to the staff this week here in Seattle, and they really said he's only had one bad quarter all season. It was the second quarter, the game that we called down at the Rose Bowl. They said he dropped his eyes on the 2 picks. I don't know if that's what happened there, but Oregon State and that defense, they have been lights out all season long, on display again tonight. Now, just when it felt like Huskies had captured momentum, Oregon State steals it right back.
Keep your eyes here. They do have a timeout. 1:10 left before the half, so it's plenty of time for Washington to go down and get some points.
Huskies will get it after the touchback at the 25. Don't forget, this season All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation. University's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you once again, All-State. 1:10 to go after throwing a pick six. Do you get conservative here with a veteran quarterback?
No, not at all. And you believe in him, you got confidence in Michael Penix, then you go right back to throwing the ball and trying to tie this game up, to be quite honest with you. 1:10 for this type of offense, a lot of time.
Second straight game Oregon State has secured a pick six. Timeout to work with for the Huskies. Dunze will try to race out of bounds after picking up the first down, and he will. Ushered out by Alex Austin. Clock stops.
Clock will stop if they get out of bounds. Clock will stop as well if there's a first down and the chains have to move. Or for the chains to move. The Dunze seem to be a little shaken up.
His third catch of the evening. Davis, the running back, he motions out. 5 wide for the Huskies. Big drive at the end of the first half. Across the middle and incomplete. McMillan dropped it.
That's 2 big ones.
Oladapo was draped all over. McMillan would probably tell you he should have caught it.
Well, there's no doubt he should have caught it. He had one earlier that Penix Jr. lasered in, but this one definitely should have been caught. It's right in front of him, and no reason to put that one on the turf.
McMillan still down on the 45. Requiring attention. And both of these teams at 6-2, both teams 3-2 in the Pac-12. Which makes this game so important. You create separation in the standings. Start thinking about the postseason. As McMillan's help to his feet, that's a good side. But Trey, it's just that point. You know, Kalen DeBoer told us this week they remember November. Popular coaching phrase you hear this time of year. It all starts with this game.
It either puts you in a good place, or there's been a lot of setbacks to a season that happened in the month of November.
Both teams now even with 164 total yards. The difference, the pick six thrown by Penix moments ago. Second down, Penix, pump fake. Odunze, a first down. He'll stay in bounds. Sent down to the 43 by Austin.
They do have the timeout that they could take and not have to rush. They could clock it here as well, but it looks like they already have a play call.
Gain of 21. Washington just like that in Oregon State territory. Penix lofts one. Odunze, contact. There's the penalty flag. Ryan Cooper in coverage against Rome Odunze, and a penalty coming against the Oregon State secondary.
That's going to be 15 yards and moving Washington
Pass
even more
interference.
close.
Number 23, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. That's an automatic first down.
Waiting on the official that was closer to the action to throw the flag, and he didn't throw it. Came from the middle of the field, and one of the defensive back, Ryan Cooper, was kind of grabbing a handful of jersey or around the waist area.
Huskies will get the second half kickoff.
Showing blitz here. They backed out last time.
35 seconds to go. Still the timeout in their back pocket too, Andre. Here comes a flag.
And you got a false start on Rosengarten.
False start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Playing offensive line's tough. All that stuff that Rosengarten's got on. A brace on the sleeve on one arm, a brace on the other, tape on the right shoulder. Amazing.
First and 15 after the infraction.
Same look again.
Penix will buy some time. Nearly picked off. Boy, he hesitated on that throw. Ray Wright was ready and waiting along the far side. Odunze the intended target.
And he had Polk inside, so he's going outside to Odunze, but he should have come inside to Polk, who was open. And I thought he was awaiting the football, and then he decided last second to go to Odunze on the outside. Second down here is about 28 seconds, and they still have a timeout, so you can work the entire field knowing that you have the timeout and get a quick stop if you need to.
On the very edge of Peyton Henry's field goal range. He did have the 50-yarder at UCLA earlier this season. Penix retreats and delivers. Incomplete. Westover was open. Penix missed him.
Yeah, but it's the blitz. They got home. Davis couldn't hold up and pass pro, and they bring a linebacker, or excuse me, maybe it was Ryan Cooper. Oladapo is who it was actually blitzing, and he gets to Penix. Penix Jr. disrupted things.
Second charge timeout.
And a timeout
Oregon State.
will be
30
called
seconds.
by Oregon State. 23 seconds to go. Huskies still with a timeout. Third down and long. Hey, this has been their specialty so far tonight. Third down and long. Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, they've dialed up the right plays.
No problem. Just converting on multiple third downs on their scoring drive. 3rd and 16, 3rd and 11. Even had a 4th and 10 thrown in there as well to move themselves into scoring position, and then ultimately Talapapa got it into the end zone.
Another third down and long. UW averaging over 8 yards to go on third down so far tonight. We've seen the middle screen called in this situation. We've seen the arm strength utilized by Penix. Spotting his favorite receiver, Rome Odunze. Kalapapa lines up in the slot.
Bring blitz again.
Penix into the flats, well short of the line to gain. Westover stopped by Stover. Now a timeout will be called and likely a field goal attempt coming for the Huskies.
Maybe.
Third and final timeout.
I mean, college
Washington.
football has gone mad going
30
for it
seconds.
on fourth down this year. And you've got the wind
Clock
blowing
operator,
straight
please reset the
into the
game
face of
clock to
Peyton
14
Henry if that's what
seconds.
Kalen DeBoer elects to do
Thank
here.
you.
We mentioned he had the 50-yarder down at the Rose Bowl, and let's see what the Huskies want to do.
Is it the coach at Presbyterian that was in high school going for it all the time?
And he got fired like after a year.
So, yeah, so I wonder how much he had to do with whatever book is out there on analytics about going for it on fourth down and not kicking field goal.
I know one thing's for sure. You didn't go to the library and check that book out.
No.
You didn't go searching for it in the old card catalog back in the day.
I think it has a place, but so does your gut. And you know your team, and you can't base it off what someone else does.
Well, the wind a major factor. They're going to go for it on fourth and long. Already a conversion earlier tonight on fourth down, and now a timeout called by the Beavers.
Third
Both
and
teams
final
out of timeouts.
timeout. Oregon State. 30 seconds.
And we mentioned now in the month of November, important stretch for both sides. Huskies road trip, Eugene coming up. Colorado and Washington State will wrap things up in the Apple Cup. So you can start to connect the dots and find a way to come back and win this one. A gargantuan matchup next weekend down at Autzen Stadium, and then some manageable games down the stretch for Kalen DeBoer in year number one.
It really is. I think it all starts here tonight. Love to get this one and ride a wave of momentum into that game against Oregon next week.
Dunze will set up top of the screen. Huskies need 11 to keep this drive going. Just 14 seconds to go. Out of timeouts. And Penix nearly intercepted. His receiver never turned around, and Alex Austin was thinking about 6 points.
Well, there's a lesson for every young receiver in the country right there. You never know when the ball's coming your way. You've got to run your route, and you've got to expect the football no matter what.
Jalen Polk never turned around.
Wasn't expecting the ball to be thrown to him. And when you have a talent like Penix Jr. that can touch every area of the field, then you have to know that the ball could
Illegal
potentially
substitution.
come your way.
12 players on the defense.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. Still fourth
The
down.
flag came in very late, all the way down near the 5-yard line.
12 players.
And instead of a stop on 4th and 11,
Previous play is under further review.
and they'll go and take a look at that on replay. And Matt Austin, our rules expert, they can double check to make sure what they think they saw, they actually saw, correct?
That's correct. And I'm looking at a pre-snap view of the defense, and I only count 11 players. So I'm not sure what they saw, but I think this is going to be overturned.
Jonathan Smith certainly hoping that will be the case. But the flag came in right around on top of the 5-yard line. It was kind of hidden. We'll do a little mathematics here as well.
Well, if they're counting a guy walking off the field or what.
Well, big call in this situation. I believe that that's indisputable video evidence, Andre.
I think you're right.
And we've seen some strange calls this year in the games that we've been a part of on these Friday nights. But the play was nowhere close to
After
being
review,
started there.
there's no foul for illegal substitution. The ball will be on the 29-yard line. First down, Oregon State.
Judson Howard, our replay official tonight, by the way, and he got it right.
You just get to the locker room here if you're Jonathan Smith and Oregon State. With an E, let's go in, talk about this, enjoy being up 14-7 and get ready for the second half.
How about our esteemed producer Chris Damiani just executing that counting of the players on defense to perfection. Make sure that everything was in order there. 14-7 ball game. Oregon State on the road. Won 3 straight after 2 losses to SC and Utah. And a good start thus far this evening.
Nice first half. One major mistake by Michael Penix Jr. has Oregon State up 14-7.
Coming up after the break, the halftime report. Matt Berry and company. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Ram Trucks on a windy night in Washington. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. 14-7 our score, getting you ready. The start of our second half. Oregon State leading UW on the road so far. Paul Carcaterra, Andre Ware, Roy Philpott. Great to have you with us tonight. Interesting first 2 quarters in the books. Michael Penix, the pick 6. Probably the big story. The wind is a big factor as well down there. 4th and shorts and going for it on 4th and shorts, a story as well, because I think Oregon State would be up by another, it'd be 20-7 as opposed to 14-7. Stopped. Cole is the jackhammer, and then another 4th down here in scoring position to put points on the board. Oregon State comes up short. Michael Penix with a pick 6. And that's the difference in the ball game right now, as it's 14-7. But Washington getting the ball first out of the locker room. They could turn things around quickly here to start the second half. Take a look at tonight's game track, brought to you by Fisher Investments. Total yards, UW's actually outgained 23rd ranked Oregon State up to this point with the pick 6. Really the story. Mascarenas Arnold delivering that touchdown for the Beavers at the end of the first half. A big matchup in the Pac-12. Both teams at 6-2, 3-2 in the conference. Our third quarter beginning right now at Huskies Stadium. Well, we expected bad weather tonight. We expected some rain, a lot of wind. The rain has held off, but the wind has not. Kalen DeBoer search up some second half answers. His team done a great job this year in his first campaign here in Seattle.
I think if you polled coaches and players, they would take this every day of the week over the rain, the wet stuff.
But as a quarterback, though, the wind bothers you a little bit, doesn't it?
Not really. Not if you can throw it and knife it through the wind, and it hadn't bothered Michael Penix other than one throw tonight. The pick 6 he would love to have back, but you can throw it. You can spin it through the wind. It's just as we talked about, when it's behind you is when it really affects how the ball travels.
Everett Hayes into the teeth of that wind. Fielded at the 11 by Cameron Davis. Davis raises ahead. Spun down crossing the 35. For a moment he had a chance as we check in with Paul Carcaterra.
I'll take the wind over the rain any day. That's for sure. But Kalen DeBoer knows the wind is a real factor. Some of those 4th down opportunities you guys thought might have been field goal attempts, he went for it with Michael Penix because of Penix's arm and his ability to cut through the wind, and just a little concerned about his field goal kicker in the range. And this is a swirling type wind, though. It's not just going one direction. It swirls in Husky Stadium, so it's really hard to kind of decipher exactly where the wind is going when.
Ciphering the wind.
Oh, what a
that sweep to Giles Jackson. That went nowhere.
Play by James Rawls to make that play. Just kind of reading things out. And he comes unblocked. They're leaving him to just shoot up the field, but he also found his way into a play.
It's a loss of 2. We certainly can understand how Oregon State's defense limited SC. That 3-point loss, just 17 points. They get after you. It's not only the secondary Front seven has done damage tonight. The Beavers as well. 2nd and 12. And a handoff. Again, short yardage on that play. Rawls tackles Talapapa, so he's made 2 big plays to start the 3rd.
And to your point, you know, when you have 11 interceptions and you're only giving up 8 touchdown passes, you think, well, you're one-dimensional, you can play the pass. No, this run defense has been stout throughout this game for Oregon State, where it held, I think, just 35 yards rushing in the first half for Washington. Playing both phases of defense and getting turnovers.
Huskies 4 of 8 on 3rd down. 3rd and 10 here. Opening possession of the 2nd half. And Penix will avoid 2 defenders, a spin, and stop well short. Omar Speights continues his good work. 4th down. Just over 3 to go after a 7-yard gain, and let's see.
Kalen DeBoer, the head coach at Washington, maybe thinking about going for it here, but ultimately he's going to send his punting unit on the field.
Jack McAllister, last time we saw him in that first half, punted it straight to the back of his tight end, Jack Westover.
Number one for Oregon State
dropping
is now
that snap.
Number 91.
Anthony Gould back deep to receive. Wind-aided punt. Gould from inside the 10. Well, a nifty return to give better field position for the Beavers. A 46-yard punt, return of 15.
I also caught up with Jonathan Smith, Oregon State head coach, and he's thrilled with the production of his freshman running back, Damian Martinez. Feels like he's able to have vision to get to the next level of that Washington defense. But the wind's a concern for him, too. He doesn't think the pass game is too reliable because of the swirling winds. One other thing, defensively, they've been able to disrupt Michael Penix. He said multiple looks right before the snap. The pre-snap looks on defense and the changing of formations have worked. And you guys know their D-backs are for real.
No question about that. Arguably the top secondary in the Pac-12. Martinez shoved down. And no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. Tui Nasinola.
He has made some plays along that defensive line tonight. Up the field. Stop playing and stopping the run. They got their hands full with Martinez, though.
And one of the few times tonight he's been stymied. Branson the pump fake. Trayshawn Harrison dropped it.
Oh, what a nice pickup by Martinez at running back to give Branson the time necessary to find a receiver. And Harrison, he just got to complete the play. He was ready to throw the next move to maybe get himself started and forgot to catch it.
3rd down and 10.
This is a place where Oregon State does not want to be. 3rd down and long.
And a flag flies.
It'll be a little longer now.
Full start. Number 0, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So Harrison drops the pass, then commits the penalty.
You just can't have it. From a player that's an experienced player, veteran player that's a senior, you just can't have it.
And the wind picks up on 3rd down and even longer.
Man, I'm playing draw play, I'm playing screen. All the guys in the front 7. Those are the alerts I'm giving right now.
Branson spins out of pressure. Can't do it a second time. Brought down back at the 5 by Cam Bright.
We had somebody down. Is there a player on the field that got to Branson early? I'm not sure who it was.
CTF. Fatui.
Exactly who it was, and Bright finishes things off. It took a situation where it was bad they got worse in a hurry.
It's a loss of 14 on the play, and the Huskies are in business.
We get some good field position here.
Loescher gets it away. McMillan fields it at the 49. In Oregon State territory with blockers. Shoved out crossing the 25, and there's another flag. Well, a punt of 44 yards, and we'll check the penalty. Return of 26. Veteran Pac-12 officiating crew has been busy tonight.
Yes, they have.
Waiting the call from Michael Mothershed once again.
Not sure, because the flag came far away from the action.
Number 42 receiving team during the run. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Carson Bruner.
Timeout.
Well, they'll get you every time with the holds, especially on special teams. And Bruner right up against the punter. Whistled right there. Welcome back. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Ram Trucks. Huskies band getting down. And the team with great field position. That holding call coming in the end zone right there really didn't cost Washington all that bad a field position.
False start.
This won't help.
Number 1, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Rare mistake.
First down.
Odunze.
Right. 3-snap penalties killing the Huskies. So tough to convert 1st and 15 and beyond. Lucky enough to pick up a holding penalty. It's worse.
Andre, I think I know you pretty well. You would love to call what right here?
I'm going deep.
All nines?
All nines. 9.99. These 3 bottom receivers.
And instead, a handoff crossing the 40. Rawls stops Cameron Davis.
Trying to get back penalty yards. Happened on prior to the snap on first down.
Second down and 14. The Huskies only 2 losses this season. One coming on the road at UCLA. The other down at Arizona State. Since then, they've won 2 straight. Penix obviously a big reason why this offense has been prolific until tonight. 197 total yards. 154 through the air so far for Mike Penix Jr. He'll add to that total. Polk has it, makes a man miss. Stopped at the 29.
Just like that. On the arm of Michael Penix Jr., you're right back in 3rd and medium.
3rd down. A manageable 4 after a 10-yard pickup.
You as a receiver in this Washington offense, especially tonight, you've got to have, your concentration's got to be up to par, because the ball is coming. And I think he's throwing it a little, putting a little extra on it because of the wind.
On 3rd down, out in the flats, Cameron Davis has a first down. He got to the edge in a hurry, tripped up inside the 25, a gain of 6.
I was wondering if he's going to get there, Roy, because it looked like he started kind of sizing up the defender, and he has yet to get to the first down marker. You want to make sure you get there, and Grant, who's had an outstanding game, we know he's a solid open field tackler, just a tad bit late in getting to Cameron Davis.
First catch for Davis, 7 touches overall tonight. Yards have been hard to come by so far for the Huskies. Another screen. Davis has it. Close to the 15. Gain of 8 yards.
Excellent read. He didn't wait. Just kind of looking for routes down the field, and that's the safety valve. Just dump it off and let Cameron Davis do his job.
Davis, one of the more explosive backs on this roster. Talking to Ryan Grubb this week, and he said this would be a great game get some guys out in some one-on-one opportunities, and somebody develop the hot hand. They're trying to find it.
This is almost like a free play when it's second down and short like this, 2nd and 2. Go to the end zone here and not really have to worry about converting to pick up the first down.
Late clock winding down. Penix gets it off. Crosser. There it is. First down. Polk. It'll be first down and goal for the Huskies.
You see him buy a little bit of time. He's kind of backing out a little bit and then finding Polk on the crossing route. He's got a free blitzer coming right in front of him. And just your job is just to get it in the area where Polk has a chance to catch the football before you get hit.
Jalen.
Heck of a job. That's next level stuff.
Penix perfect on this drive. Polk now with 3 grabs. First and goal from just inside the 10. Quick delivery, McMillan. Got a block. Eludes one defender. Shoved down at the 8 and a late flag.
I'll tell you what, Jaden Grant, I don't know that we've loved him up enough, but he started his career as a walk-on, 3-time captain, and is just all over the field tonight.
Well, certainly the bloodlines are there. His father, Brian Grant, longtime player in the NBA. 12 seasons.
I mean, you look up and threes
Personal
making
foul,
plays everywhere.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 55 offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Lautanu, left tackle.
That hurts. He had, possession down inside the 10-yard line with a first down, and now you got to back it all the way up outside the 20. Crowd doesn't like it. I don't know about that one, Roy. Looks like a block to me.
First down and goal from the 24. Halfway through the 3rd. Penix retreating. And then floats it incomplete. Westover was in the area, and that was it.
I mean, it just looked like a block. And he had called for a 15-yarder. No wonder the crowd was booing.
And there was no indication of blindside block in that circumstance.
This is where Penix is good, when you can just leave him one-on-one with a safety to move him, and they're in zone. There's a hash shot right here.
In with time. In zone and incomplete. Nobody there.
I can take a look at that penalty.
Smothered Spates. 3rd down and goal. Again, you wonder about potential field goal attempt and how the wind would impact it from this distance. Is at the Huskies' back. End zone. Westover! Touchdown!
That's what Isaac Hodgins right in the face of Michael Penix Jr. And he's still able to throw a dart.
First touchdown of the season for the junior Jack Westover. And another 3rd down and long conversion for the Huskies tonight. Well, that funky formation makes you think for a second every time they're going to go for 2, doesn't it?
I see that that formation, excuse me, every Sunday.
Peyton Henry on. Bangs home the extra point. We are tied at 14.
See it every Sunday. Penix to Westover. 14 apiece, and we got a ball game, Phil Pott.
Saturday night spotlight shines on Oregon State D-back Alex Austin. Alex was born and raised in Long Beach, California, where he was an honor roll student. And now he's using his NIL money to create a scholarship, partnering with Access Scholarships and the HiRect app, and establishing the Alex Austin Overcoming Adversity Scholarship. It provides aid to access higher education for disadvantaged students, and he told me he's seen the need for this firsthand from his community. His father's a Long Beach City Councilman, and his mother is an Assembly Member District Director, and they raised quite a young man. There were 2,500 applicants for the scholarship, and Alex read the top 25, and recently 3 scholarships were awarded. You guys mentioned earlier, he wants your job as a sports analyst on TV one day. He also records his own music too. He's got the goods.
Yeah, on
awesome.
top of that,
Awesome.
too, like it was interesting. He wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to run his own business, loves restaurants, has his eyes set, perhaps on a franchise at some point. Oregon State gets it back from the 20-yard line, and we'll take you back to that last touchdown from Penix to Westover.
Yeah, Ray Wright is the corner that's at the bottom of the screen. All you got to do is look back inside. The safety's over the top. It's not cover 2. It's one safety in the middle. So you're in one of 2 coverages, either man or I've got the deep third and zone. Well, he gets caught in the eye candy looking inside, lets Westover creep behind him, and you can't make that mistake against Michael Penix Jr.
Coletto, Martinez out of the eye. Martinez hit near the line, bounces forward for a gain of 1, and that's it. Oregon State was solid on those first 3 offensive possessions.
Yeah.
Since then, not so much.
Well, I think you look at what Washington's doing defensively. They've kind of gotten a handle on this running game where Martinez was running wild early in this game. They've slowed him tremendously. Fenwick, along with Griffin, who's also had reps, well, not so much.
On second down, Branson completes it. Anthony Gould grabs it. That's a first down and a big pitch and catch.
You guys were mentioning Washington making adjustments to the run game of Oregon State. Kalen DeBoer told me it was critical to get penetration and stop Martinez in his tracks. He wanted to make initial contact with the freshman running back at the line of scrimmage and not let him get that extra layer in the vision to get to the second seam of the defense.
Mission accomplished so far. 12-yard gain. Play action on first down. Branson steps up. Sidesteps a defender, and he'll pick up something, making something out of nothing.
But I like what Brian Lindgren is doing, the offensive coordinator for Oregon State. So Washington's starting to pack the box so you can't get vision, you can't get to the second level. Was leaving corners one-on-one outside. Simple remedy. Throw a hitch route, which is exactly what he did the play before to Gould, who happens to be a playmaker. You can take a 6-yard hitch and turn it into a first down.
Branson picks up 5. On second down, Jam Griffin straight ahead. He'll pick up a first down. How about the finish there? A gain of 8, just weaving his way through traffic.
And just that hitch route spreads the defense again, where now you've got the creases for the run game that you had earlier. It's a great back and forth, nice little chess match that they have going on between offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. My old coaches would say, just go where they ain't.
That doesn't sound like a chess match, but we'll take it. Approaching 4 to go in the third quarter. Quick hitch is there into plus territory on first down. Goes Harrison.
I love it.
Hard tackle by Turner.
It's just a simple answer to, you're going to pack the box, I'm just going to spin it outside. And it doesn't have to be where I've got to drop back to do it. I don't have to take 3 steps, raise up and give it. We used to call those on-air shots. That was actually lightning. So if you're going outside, it's lightning. If you're going to the slot inside, it's thunder. So thunder or lightning tells you where I'm going with it, and it alerts the receivers the ball's coming to you.
In the box for the Huskies. And a timeout called by the Beavers.
First charge timeout.
Tied at 14, 3:40 remaining. Entertaining game in the third quarter here in Seattle. Yeah, it's the famous Fishmongers at Pike Place Market in Seattle, a tradition that started in the 1980s, a must-see entertainment option. A major local tourist attraction. The fish can sometimes weigh up to 30 pounds. We made our way down there earlier today. Enjoyed some outstanding clam chowder.
Yes, we did.
Had a great time.
My man Sizzle with the clam chowder.
Second down out of the timeout. Handoff. First down for Oregon State. That was Martinez, his first big burst since the first quarter.
I had to drag both of you guys to the market.
Oh,
here we
That's
go.
a fact.
Here
And
we
you
go.
didn't even want to try the clam chowder. And by the time you ate it, you said it was the best you ever had. You guys are losers.
wow.
I'm gonna leave one question. Who said let's go eat?
You said the text.
Who put the text out
You
there?
wanted to go
So
to like a fancy
so he was-
sit-down.
he
I
wanted
wanted to feel the culture.
He's dragging us. Yeah, right. We were all starving.
I want to know the recipe of the clam chowder
It was good.
because on the sign it said it was the best in the world, and it was. Wide open, incomplete, and that could have been 6. Jan Griffin had nothing but turf in front of a defender.
Wondering if it didn't affect that throw when you have Griffin running that wide open. It's not adrenaline that's still flowing through Bill Branson.
Well, the wheel route was wide open.
Just wide open. Just put it on him.
Bill Branson, of course, the backup starting this season behind Chance Nolan, still in concussion protocol. But he's been pretty good coming off the bench. 3-0 as a starter. Handoff, no gain. Griffin stacked up. That was it. Tooley brought him down.
They're dialed in on stopping this run. They've been pretty good against the run most of the year. Second in the conference and 21st overall, only allowing 110 yards rushing. So what Oregon State was doing early in this ball game is kind of uncharacteristic of what Washington allows or has allowed this season.
Third down and 10. Ninth play of the drive.
We're going to see some pressure here.
Here it comes. Martin gets there.
Well, he got there, but he got a handful of face masks, and it's going to give Oregon State an automatic first down here. Just went high instead of going around the waist, and he got a handful of the face mask of Ben Gobranson.
Personal foul, face mask, number 3 defense, 15-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down.
Easy call.
Easiest call they'll make, maybe all year.
Third personal foul called against the Huskies tonight. Unfortunate break for Kayla DeBoer's club. First down, Oregon State, all the way down to the 27. So you got to feed the freshman running back here, don't you?
I would. If you get them spread out, you got what you're looking for, and I think they have it right here.
Coletto, the fullback. Will Branson perhaps changing the play. And it is Martinez. Good gain on first down, crossing the 25.
Smart check, designed to go left. All he did was take the run and go opposite and put Martinez on the short side into the boundary with the run, where there were an extra defender on the outside of the formation to his left. He sent the play right.
Martinez out, Fenwick back in. After a gain of 3. Touch for Fenwick. Bolts through the middle. Stopped at the 19. A 5-yard pickup. Bruner got him.
Here we go again. This is right on schedule for Oregon State. Methodically moving the ball, moving the chains, and find themselves again in a third down and short.
Another trip into the red zone. Here's Coletto. And now Fenwick takes it. Over the right side, Fenwick! End zone! Oregon State back in front. Another impressive drive on the ground.
Oh, he should go back and give Jack Coletto a high five and a big thank you and a hug, because he threw one heck of a block that opened it up for Fenwick. The lead block by Coletto freezes the linebacker. He couldn't get free, puts him on his back. And that allowed Fenwick to turn and get his shoulder pad squared up to the end zone and basically walking in.
We talked with Jonathan Smith about bringing Coletto over to offense. Extra point is good. And he said, you know what? When he's on the field, he don't care. He does not care. He's going to sacrifice his body. He'll provide the block. He'll get the first down. He'll score the touchdown. And he just brings it.
It's not a lot of guys that are going to put Tupatala on his back in this conference or in the country. And Coletto just did exactly that. I mean, that's a pancake block, lead block from a fullback.
Or quarterback.
Yeah, that sounds even better.
You know, he was recruited as a quarterback, so when he told Jonathan Smith he wanted to move to linebacker, his coach was a little shocked. He asked him if he ever played defense. His response was only safety in high school, but he sized out of that position. So now he plays offense, he plays defense. He's tough as nails, too. And Roy, when you and I had that conversation with Jack Coletto, he said he got his toughness from his dad, who was a construction worker, and he was hard on him and made him a tough football player. And his mom never had the sympathy, and he's got the older brother, the fist fights with him back home. Like, this kid, when you talk to him, if you think about a two-way player who smashes the opposition like he does in college football, he's exactly who you think he would be.
Absolutely. Gritty and tough as nails. Davis around the 5. And a quick burst.
Wow.
Good field position for the Huskies ahead to the 34. Now let's take a look who's winning together, brought to you by Dave & Buster's. We'll do that in a minute. Alabama LSU coming up tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Bryce Young, Jayden Daniels, two of the top quarterbacks in the SEC and in the country. Brian Kelly, year number 1, starting to figure things out. The Southeastern Conference playoff implications at stake as well. The Crimson Tide sitting at number 6.
A lot of coaches run from the SEC. Brian Kelly ran to it.
Yes, he did. How about Daniels? His ability as a runner. Hand off, Talapapa. Good gain on first down. That'll give him a first down. Pickup of 12.
Now, Washington finding themselves in a position Oregon State was just in, having to answer Oregon State's points. 11 plays, 79 yards for Oregon State on that drive, and ended with a Fenwick touchdown run.
Second score of the night. The transfer from South Carolina to Sean Fenwick. Time winding down here in our third quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Now the Huskies starting to find their rhythm on offense, led by Michael Penix Jr., but Oregon State still with a touchdown lead, 15 to go in Seattle. Back here at Husky Stadium, little love for Bob coming from the man with 2 touchdowns tonight, and Deshaun Fenwick. Transfer from South Carolina, Bradenton, Florida native. And a good scene tonight. 7-point game. Start of our fourth quarter. Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra, Roy Philpott. Huskies have it, 1st and 10. And with outstanding field position, continuing this drive. Talapapa pinballs down after a gain of 2. More Spates. Oladapo brought him down to the cold turf. If you're just tuning in, wind is a factor, no question about it. It has gusted as high as 40 miles an hour at times today in the Seattle area. But no rain thus far.
A few times you see Oregon State just go man across the board.
Penix, quick delivery. Polk has it. Karem's out of bounds at the 45, a gain of 7. It was Austin that shoved him.
And they've been changing looks, lining up and shifting on the front seven, or giving a look in the secondary and then rotating. Now there, they just line up and say, hey, we're going to go man-to-man, beat us. He found the guy he liked a lot in Jalen Polk to get to third down and short. And I got to believe this is 4-down territory if they don't pick this up here.
Cameron Davis in the backfield. Will pick up the first down, upended, crossing the line. Needed one, he'll gain 2.
He was chopped down hard by Skylar Thomas.
Here comes tempo for the Huskies.
I'm shocked they haven't done this earlier. And they've got a receiver wide open. To the right
number
of the
58
formation.
for Washington is now wearing number 96.
Odunze. Now they finally get right over there on him.
Huskies in Oregon State territory. Davis straight ahead, a big gainer. Davis inside the 25.
Spread them out. If they go, you're going to run the ball underneath, and you'll be one-on-one with the safety. If they stay, then you're going to spin it to the outside. Well, they spread out, and here comes Washington.
Gain of 19 yards. Davis again. Keep feeding 22, crossing the 20 into the red zone. Cody Anderson with the tackle. They'll stop him officially near the 21.
They told us he had breakaway speed, right? He has got it. Saw him on a couple of returns, on a kickoff return where he almost came loose, and a couple of occasions out of the backfield here. Cameron Davis has almost found the end zone. And I would not wait for a defense to get set. I'm snapping it before they go cover up.
Dunze in motion. Penix finds Polk somehow. There were 2 receivers close by. Polk grabs it right at the line, and that was it.
I think he wanted to go deep down the sideline to Cameron Davis, but it was zone coverage, not the look that they thought they were going to get. And they had high help over the top where Davis couldn't get deep, so he was just forced to check it down.
Talapapa, the running back, on 3rd and 6.
And there for protection purposes. They're going to get edge pressure here.
Dunze in the slot. Penix will look his direction. Fires a pass. Caught. Dunze. First down and goal for the Huskies. Jaden Grant with a tackle. Washington in business.
Well, Jaden Grant's a good defender, but if you're going to put him on a wide receiver as a safety, I'm going to take that matchup every time you do it, and that's why Dunze came wide open there.
Gain of 17. Talapapa has it. Weaving his way towards the goal line for a touchdown.
And this has turned into some ball game. And you got to give credit to both offensive coordinators for seeing the weaknesses in the defense and exploiting them. This job by Talapapa, the vision, and he knew it was time to put the foot in the ground and get up the field and into the end zone.
Peyton Henry. Perfect on his extra points this season. There is a flag on the field on the conversion. This will go into Oregon State.
Offside, number 5 defense. A penalty is declined. The result of the extra point is good.
So Andre, the Huskies now, last 2 possessions resulting in 2 touchdowns. Penix in rhythm. You're seeing some players start to make some big-time plays.
Well, and then, you know, you start to think, you hate to go back to it, but you got 6 points that were left on the board on 4th down stops for Oregon State, and so that's going to.
Well, welcome back to Husky Stadium, and as you can tell, the lights are out. We have suffered a partial power outage here inside the stadium. Tied at 21 with Oregon State and Washington. After the Huskies just scored the tying touchdown.
Lights We're
Peyton
waiting
Henry
for them to come back
with
on.
the extra point.
So it's approximately 15 to 20 minutes.
And as you heard right there from our referee, Michael Mothershed, the lights at Husky Stadium shut down, and it will take approximately 15 minutes for those lights to cut back on. So we will step aside for a moment. Tied at 21, 11:36 to go. It's been a wild Friday night already. Stay with us. The conclusion.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Yeah, that's right. The first meeting between these two programs all the way back in 1897. State Agricultural College, later becoming Oregon State, defeated Washington by a score of 16-0. That Washington photo was the team that competed in that game. Still waiting for the lights to come back on at Husky Stadium. Reminder, there has been a lot of wind in Washington and the Seattle area today. Tied at 21, 11:36 to go. What's been a great game. Take a look at the game recap, and really the big story, the pick six early thrown by Michael Penix and return tray by Marcaranis Arnold.
Yeah, that put Oregon State up 14-7 at the half, and they had to battle back. But then all of a sudden, here comes Michael Penix finding Jack Westover in the back of the end zone. That tied things up. We get Deshaun Fenwick with a touchdown run to give Oregon State the lead, and then Wayne Talapapa, he gets into the end zone to tie things back up at 21 apiece.
Oh, Penix now with 232 yards through the air, the nation's leading passer, averaging 366 this season. The two touchdowns by Fenwick, South Carolina transfer, and yeah, the power outage at 1:17 Eastern time. Also a developing story. Listen, Friday nights this year, they've been wild. They've been competitive. We had 6 consecutive one-possession games, Andre, and you know, we've seen a little bit of antics along the way, including tonight, and we mentioned the wind, and that's probably one of the reasons the power went out, but they're restarting the lights as we speak.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game. I think, you know, a lot of back and forth, and then we finally get the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators kind of on the same page, and they're scheming up to take advantage of what the other's doing. It's a nice chess match that was going on. I hate to see this, because for the players, now you got to figure out a way to stay warm or get yourself going again after this 15-20 minute delay.
Yeah, and you think about the importance of this game. Both teams at 6-2. You've got a first-year head coach in Kalen DeBoer here at UW. Jonathan Smith has done a tremendous job down in Corvallis. He's also 6-2. Both teams 3-2 in the Pac-12. So separation will be created between the winner and the loser of this game tonight, and you start thinking about postseason plans, bigger bowl games for tonight's winner. So a lot on the line, and theoretically, technically, if you win this game, you're still in contention in the Pac-12 to win the championship as well.
I think both teams kind of understood what the effect of this game would actually have, and there's kind of the lay of the land in the Pac-12 right now. You see
Beavers,
Oregon State and Washington right there together.
Yeah, right there. Beavers are ranked for the first time, according to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, and that first release that came out last Tuesday. And we mentioned the greatness of Friday nights this year.
Super.
I mean, so many close games, incredible comebacks. Memphis, Houston comes to mind. And even a week ago, East Carolina with Conrad's field goal at the buzzer, the walk-off win on the road at BYU.
Yeah, 2 seconds left. He kicks that baby through to give East Carolina the win, and we will see them next week in Cincinnati. So that another awesome Friday night on the horizon after this one, but we still got some left here before we start thinking about next week. But Friday night it's been awesome.
Yeah, it really has exceeded our expectations. Well, just a year ago, these two teams played a phenomenal game as well. Remember, Washington had a 9-game winning streak in this series, but here come the Beavers. Jonathan Smith, coaching change at UW, obviously a year ago. Huskies jump out in front in Corvallis, and then the Beavers come roaring back, and it was 27-24 the final, the walk-off win with the field goal being made at the buzzer by Everett Hayes. Losing streak over to the Huskies And now Oregon State trying to start a new streak in their favor in a series that dates all the way back to 1897.
A lot of football been played since 1897.
Restarting the lights. Hopefully we'll have another update for you when we come back here in Seattle. Tied at 21. Fourth quarter underway. Now Damian Martinez, the freshman running back out of Louisville, Texas. What a first campaign he's enjoyed in Corvallis. Big numbers tonight and effective, especially early.
Yeah, and he's gotten some pretty good blocks from Jack Coletto, who's helped him out tremendously as a lead blocker. But he is a special talent. Just a freshman coming in here, and there was a three-man rotation. He started to separate the last game against Colorado, and he has not looked back ever since.
You know, Clark talked about how he was lightly recruited coming out of high school. And it's interesting, he really said he fell in love with Corvallis because of the small town feel. And he said, when I go there, when I went there on my official visit, it was business and football. And that was it. And he goes, that's what I need. That's what I wanted. It was a perfect fit with the Beavers. And I tell you what, it's looked really swell so far in his first year.
Kids will ask me, what should I do, you know, when I'm taking a recruit or making a decision on where I'm going to go to school? And for me, it was just, and the advice I give is what feels like home to you? What feels right? And you just know just by that simple thing.
Yeah, when you watch him play tonight, gentlemen, too, like he doesn't look like a freshman running back. And I was sitting next to him just moments ago. He was on the heated bench. There's been a lot of downtime here. I said, you didn't need one of these in Texas, did you? He said, nope. But the reality of all this with Damian Martinez is he was lightly recruited. But when you think about his production and the way that this team is built for the future with a young offensive line, Andre, I think the sky's the limit. He's going to be a household name eventually.
Well, and you look at their two top receivers to go along with that offensive line, or two of the top receivers in Gould and Bolden, they're just sophomores. The offensive line only has one senior, and that's Kipper, the right guard. They're all coming back. So this is a talented Oregon State football team. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, he reminds me of a young Steven Jackson, and big shoes to fill. We will see if Damian Martinez can continue down that road. And you also wonder, is he perhaps our next Friday night phenom? We have seen tremendous performances this season, going all the way back to the Florida State-Louisville game. And even before then, Jacoby Windman, the 4 sacks, tackles for loss, Malik Cunningham, Johnny Wilson, some explosive stars we've seen.
How about Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 368 total yards, 4 touchdowns.
Against Washington.
And he hadn't slowed down yet.
Yeah.
You know, he is still rolling. So it's, there's some good ones on Friday night. There's the last 4. Keaton Mitchell, who had 176 yards rushing. Then Eric Prince, who had an outstanding game. That was kind of a coming out party for him.
And we will see Keaton Mitchell and those Pirates, head coach Mike Houston, a week from tonight on the road in the Queen City against Cincinnati. And East Carolina's going to have something to say about how that AAC race finishes up. Michael Penix, big factor in the Pac-12 this year. He's finally putting up big numbers tonight after that early pick 6.
Yeah, he put it behind him, and he's gone to work. It's like a veteran or savvy veteran quarterback would do, and he's brought his team back. I'm back in this thing with a touchdown pass to Westover. They are right back in the thick of things as we're tied at 21 apiece, and it's like the lights are starting to come on around here.
11:36 to go. The lights are on. Teams are warming up. We're just about set to wrap this one up in Seattle when we return. And now let's take a look at who's winning together, brought to you by Dave and Buster's. Jack Coletto paving the path for another Oregon State touchdown moments ago.
Yeah, he's pancaking people, helping Fenwick get himself into the end zone. I don't know if we've seen a better block all season long than the one that Jack Coletto threw on that touchdown run.
And I'm going to go back to what we talked about early in this game, the beef between Carcaterra and Coletto, because there was something about spaghetti sauce. There was something about a secret recipe with grandmothers. I'm not sure what it was, but there was some tension in our conversations with Jack Coletto this week.
Yeah, let's slow down here. First of all, Jack Coletto told me that he had a family recipe, a spaghetti sauce recipe, right? I don't call it spaghetti sauce, I call it marinara, right? That's for starters. And then I was curious. I asked, hey, can you give me this recipe? And he was slow to go. He's like, it might be top secret. Then I said, listen, if you give me your spaghetti sauce recipe, I'll give you my Grandma Mary's meatballs. And my Grandma Mary Ferrara, God rest her soul, she's a legend in the kitchen, and her meatballs, that recipe was straight from Italy. He was still slow to go. I was going to do a swap with him. So Jack Coletto, you're a great football player, but you need your head checked when it comes to training recipes.
Paul Carcaterra, ladies and gentlemen, bringing the heat late or early on a Saturday morning, depending on where you're watching us tonight.
He's competitive, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And look, Coletto, you want to talk about some of the all-time greats in terms of two-way players. I mean, Miles Jack comes to mind, but you think about other players that have 20 career rushing touchdowns, 20 career tackles. Remember, he's playing defense as a linebacker, too. Very short list, and he's done a tremendous job on both sides of the football.
Tell you what, he's thrown a couple of blocks tonight that have impressed me. I don't need a list to know how impressive Jack Coletto is.
Now the Huskies having a little fun on social media. Yeah, anyone know an electrician? If you're just tuning in, the lights went out at around 1:17 Eastern time, and it took them about 15 minutes to come back on. They are on. Oregon State completed its new pregame warm-ups, if you will, and Washington concluding those as we speak. So we're just about set, ready to go in a tie ball game, in a critical game in the Pac-12, no less.
And you hate to see a stoppage like this, because it basically will boil down to who can stay warmer the longest, or who can get back to playing the way the game was being played at the time it was stopped, instead of just playing it through where everybody's all warmed up, stretched out, and ready to go.
Well, Jonathan Smith has done a great job resurrecting this Oregon State football program. And of course, you remember him as the star quarterback back in the day. Go back to 2000, 11-1 that season, finished the year ranked 4th in the country. And then Jonathan Smith went from quarterback to offensive play caller here in Seattle with the Huskies. 4-year stint, did a great job tutoring Jake Browning, of course, Pac-12 Player of the Year in 2016, playoff appearance, and then taking over back at his alma mater in Corvallis in 2018. Last 2 years have started to see some of that special sauce that he cooks with. And look, sky's the limit with what we've seen so far with this team this year, and even tonight, Andre.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with not only Jonathan Smith, but the coaching staff and how responsive the players are to the coaching. And it's a simple game. We overcomplicate it sometimes, and the simplicity of it needs to be on display at times, and that's what you get from Oregon State. They're just not. They're gonna go where you're not, and that's the game.
From a player's perspective, I'm not sure if you ever had to deal with a delay like this at Houston or the NFL or at any level. But what are you thinking about right now, knowing it's been about 20 minutes, the importance of this game, and the fact it's still tied?
I'm trying to get as sweaty as I possibly can, as fast as I can, with a break that's there. And that's how you come into a game. That's how I like to come into it. And you're trying to do that, or duplicate that again to restart this last, or play this last 11:36.
Well, the Pac-12 has been an improved conference this year. Very first CFP Top 25 certainly confirmed that notion to us. 5 teams from the league, the Conference of Champions, ranked in the top 25, including Oregon State for the first time ever. Those 2 teams at the top, Oregon and SC, they still have a chance to reach the college football playoff.
Yeah, two teams in the top 10, and anything Can happen between now and the rest of the season.
Hey, Bruins are there too, knocking on the door.
It's some really good football being played, and there's a lot left.
All right, so we're about ready to restart this one. Remember, the last play was the extra point after the touchdown scored by Wayne Talapapa. The ensuing kickoff happens almost 25 minutes later, not a shade longer. The wind is picked up, the temperature is dropping as that kickoff bounces out of bounds. So the infraction will set up Oregon State with good field position.
Free kick out of bounds. Number 95 kicking team. Receiving team has elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
Good field position after the kick out of bounds, and that's what you're talking about, right? You know what I was talking about in terms of getting warm. You start things back up with a kick out of bounds. It gives the opponent excellent field position.
Martinez, the running back, through the A gap, bolts ahead to the 39, a 4-yard gain.
He is a good-looking player, isn't he? He's shown us some speed. He's shown vision. He's shown power. Ohio State taking on Northwestern tomorrow.
Martinez approaching 100 yards on the ground, 16 touches, 96 thus far. Second down and 6. Freshman back again. Lasso from behind, breaks free. Braylon Trice got there. No gain on the play. It's third down.
Trice got there, but Jeremiah Martin finished things off as he slips out of the grip of Braylon Trice. But he was the guy that slowed him down in order for Martin to finish things off. And a big third down here is we got to that point where all of a sudden the tennis analogies start coming. Who can hold serve here and who can break?
Beavers 4 for 8 on third down. Brown still in it. Branson wants to go deep and does. Has a man. Incomplete.
Well, the wind just took that ball and moved it about 10 yards inside of where Anthony Gould was running his route. Just blew it all the way back inside. Just a little out and up. You had him beaten. Perryman was beaten, and then the ball just continues to work inside as the wind's blowing it that way. Amazing.
And Andre, it is gusting, at least here in our broadcast position, as hard perhaps as it has all night. We'll ask Paul what it's like down on the field, but no question, wind played a factor. And ensuing punt caroms into the end zone. Clark, what's it like down there in terms of the wind?
It's brutal. I mean, I hear you guys complaining during the breaks. I'm like, come down to the field. It's colder than it's been the entire game, and the wind, I feel like it's swirling heavier now than ever, too. You saw on that last pass, and it's really hard to predict. That's the thing. Like, a lot of times I've been in stadiums, you feel the wind is going from one direction to another. Here, it's very unpredictable. Like, you can't get a beat on it. It just swirls.
And close by, we've seen winds gusting over 60, 80, 100 miles an hour in the greater Seattle area earlier today. It's been the forecast most of the week. In addition to rain, we did not get the precip during this one so far. Quick toss in the flats. Talapapa. Penix not accurate. Pressure coming from Riley Sharp.
He's been very active tonight. Sharp has, in terms of his pass rushing skills. He has forced a couple of quick passes from Michael Penix Jr.
Penix 21 of 37 for 232. Touchdown and a pick. We'll roll the pocket. Penix surveys and delivers a pass incomplete. Now Polk got a hand on it. That was it.
Let me tell you something. The wind doesn't affect him when he throws the ball. I mean, it is tight. Tight spiral, and it is humming to his receiver.
And Andre, it does feel like both offenses a little rusty coming out of that 25-minute hiatus.
It's kind of like starting over again. So you shut it down for 20 minutes. It's tough to to rev it back up.
3rd down and 10. Penix sidearms it, incomplete. Looking for his tight end. That was Devin Colt. 3 and out for the Huskies.
I don't think Colt would have had the yardage necessary for a 1st down. He's going to catch it and have some room to run, but I don't know that he gets there. It's job defensively by Oregon State once again.
And that win, you'll see if it impacts the snap as Jack McAllister's back on the field. Dropped 1 in the 1st half. Not this time. And a wobbler will bounce into Oregon State territory. And the Beavers will get it at their 36.
Well, we got UFC at the Apex in Vegas tomorrow night with superb women's strawweight main event. Marina Rodriguez, a big-time striker, and Amanda Lemos Class. Lemos recently said the fight will be fire and an absolute brawl. You can catch the main card starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, prelims 4 p.m. Catch it all on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app.
Andre, it seems appropriate that Carcaterra read that promotional read tonight, right? He's been
Absolutely
ready to roll.
Sitting on edge all game.
A little edgy.
Yeah, all the time, brother.
Oregon State gets it back. Still tied at 21. And a handoff to Griffin. Head to the 45, an 8-yard gain.
Covering it up in traffic. And Coletto with another good block. Another good lead block for Jam Griffin.
You remember what the Washington defense told us, and in fact it was co-coordinator William Inge, Chuck Morrell, whenever Coletto was on the field, said his linebackers are going to take it personally. They've been up to the challenge. Coletto's had it as a ball carrier. As a blocker, he has been devastating. 1st down gain, needed 2, picked up 3, and that was Griffin once again.
Nice block, nice run there by Griffin to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. This is kind of the approach that Oregon State took to start the game. They checked Griffin out. Martinez comes back in, and they got behind this big offensive line and let everything kind of get itself heated. So that's kind of the approach they're taking right here.
From the 48, Martinez with that burst over 100 yards into Washington territory. Butala tripped him up.
Gets slim through the hole. He's 6 foot, about 215, 216 pounds. But he's been magical getting through the original line of scrimmage. 104 yards on 18 carries, and then you see the other 3. We told you it was a 3-headed monster coming in here. All guys over 4 yards a carry, which is outstanding.
Leto the fullback, Martinez straight ahead on 2nd and 2. And he'll pick up the first.
Wow.
How about the secondary effort?
I thought he was going to be stopped short of the line to gain, and then all of a sudden there was a late burst by Martinez to pick up the 1st down. Looks like he stopped, and all of a sudden he doesn't stop playing. Everybody else does, and he ends up with a 1st down.
Oregon State on the move, halfway home here in our 4th quarter in Seattle. On the end around, Silas Bolden will be dropped inside the 40 by Tubutala. 2-yard gain. Well, Martinez, last 3 games, including tonight, hitting that century mark, has been so impressive in his 1st season. And you see the numbers steadily starting to rise. He enrolled early in Corvallis in January after that high school career came to a close in Texas. Stays on the field here. And Oregon State will be backed up 5 yards.
Pre-snap penalty against Oregon State.
False start, number 75, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Third false start penalty called tonight against the Beavers. Make it 2nd and 13.
Remember, this is not a place of going at a pretty good clip, but then you get them behind the down and distance marker, making it long yardage situations. Not where Oregon State wants to live and do business.
Now 5 straight runs to start this drive for the Beavers. Make it 6. And that play was stopped before it started.
There'd be a play clock penalty here.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down. Clock operator, please put 6:16 on the game clock. 6:16. Thank you.
Right. Making it tough on themselves. 2 pre-snap penalties in a row for Oregon State. Such a disciplined team that you don't normally see that.
Well, you've looked at me during several breaks tonight commenting on how well coached Oregon State is many different ways. So very unexpected to see that. 2 straight infractions. Screen pass goes nowhere. Going back is Griffin. He's going to lose yards.
Wow.
What started as a promising drive, Oregon State going in the wrong direction. It was Cam Bright that time.
Yeah, first man on the scene, number 2, and Cam Bright reads it out and just kind of upends Jam Griffin, not letting him get any momentum started down the field. And this is 3rd and Seattle right here for Oregon State. There's not a play in the playbook designed to convert 3rd and 24.
2 penalties, a loss of 6. Crowd feeling it. Conservative call, Jam Griffin. Back into UW territory, but well short of first down yardage. It was Cam Bright. Beavers going to have to punt it away. A 7-yard gain on 3rd and 24. Now a golden opportunity for Michael Penix Jr. and the Washington Huskies. Dre, it's felt like that they have trailed all night long.
Yeah, and now with an opportunity to somewhat break serve here. And you've got an experienced quarterback, a guy that you would want in this position to try to close out a game.
The Huskies, in fact, have not led tonight. It's been tied 3 different occasions. How about this punt?
Wow.
Down inside the 5. Luke Lozier. A brilliant effort to pin the Huskies back deep. Still tied at 21. 4:33 to go in Seattle. Come back with us. Now the featured ESPN college football game. Bryce Young, number 6, Bama squaring off against Jaden Daniels and 10th ranked LSU in Death Valley. Implications in the SEC West and with the college football playoff perhaps on the line tomorrow night, 7 Eastern. For Pacific, ESPN also on the app. Back in Seattle, tied at 21. Crunch time has arrived at Husky Stadium. Handoff, a 1-yard gain for Cameron Davis. That's it.
This is where, backed up like this, I think I'm crazy, but I would take a shot if I'm.
What about the wind?
No, it doesn't matter for Penix. He's played in it all game long, been able to spin it. This is where you take a shot.
Off the hitch, quick delivery, bolting forward is Davis. Gain of 3, and quickly it's 3rd down. The tackle by Ross.
Everybody's thinking that, and you got an injured Oregon State player down. Is James Rawls made the last tackle. But everybody's thinking you're going to run it, so you as well throw one deep and see if you can come up with a pass interference, a catch. And the worst thing that could happen with an experienced quarterback is an incompletion.
Rawls, the redshirt junior out of Inglewood, California.
He's had some ball game, been all over the field.
And transferred in from Fullerton College. played back in 2018. Now on his feet. That's a good sign. Important third down and 5 upcoming. Less than 4 to go. Huskies do have all 3 timeouts at their disposal. Oregon State with 2 left. Well, the problem here is if you're at Washington and you don't convert, Oregon State likely to have outstanding field position.
Especially with this wind and not knowing what it's going to do. So really needed to convert here as Washington and Oregon State looking to get off the field.
That's the biggest play of the night. It's been a long night after an extended power outage here in our 4th quarter. 3rd down, Penix. Tight end has it. That's enough for a first down. Devin Colt. Another reception, his 2nd of the night at a gain of 8.
I want to say the other one came on 3rd down where they motioned to back out, snuck the tight end out, and just waited for things, zone drops to take place. And he's excellent at timing that up where he leaks out of pass protection into a vacated area. And Penix knew exactly where his tight end was going to be.
Approaching 250 yards through the air is Penix, the nation's leading passer. Huskies will get Oregon on the road next week. Trying to beat Oregon State, who's back in the top 25 this week. Odunze has it across the 20, a gain of 7.
Hodgins in his face once again. Had to sidearm one out. All of a sudden, they're going to go some tempo here, try to speed this thing up.
Approaching 2.5 to play. Odunze's been targeted often tonight. Handoff right up the middle. Davis. Across the 35, the tackle by Austin, and give him 15.
Well, if he stops with the wiggle in and just run, he may be on the safety Grant all along. All he had to do was veer right and hit the gas a little bit.
Wind swirling, gusting. Have to think that would impact the play calling on this drive. Field goal wins it, but kicking a field goal in these conditions could be quite tough. We've yet to see it tonight. On 1st down, Penix slings it. And Polk ushered out at the 40, a 3-yard gain.
Odunze with a nice block to help out Polk turn the corner a little bit and get positive yards, because originally it looked like it wasn't going anywhere, and then the block helped him out tremendously.
Well, Peyton Henry has had a solid season, 11 of 13 field goals, including that 50-yarder at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. Leg strength is there. The accuracy has been there. See if he gets a chance. Penix directing traffic. It'll be 3rd down.
He may have just thrown that one away.
Eligible receiver number 37 was in the area.
Corner, and he didn't.
Westover was close enough to avoid the flag. Huskies 60% on 3rd down tonight. 5 for the last 6. Another big play.
There's the tight end, Colt. Out in the game is Westover.
Time for Penix across the middle. 1st down into Oregon State territory.
So good in big-time situations. It makes it look so easy.
Jalen Polk moves the chains.
Just in zone coverage, show your numbers to the quarterback, and the ball was right there for Polk to make a play and move the chains.
Picks up 13. Penix 5 for 6 on this drive. Starting to feel that hot hand. Great coverage. Late flags. Oladapo interfered with Jalen McMillan, and that's going to prove costly.
He just kind of had him around the waist and propelled himself across his body to get a hand on it, and that's a free 15.
Pass interference, number 28, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. It's an automatic 1st down.
So a little bit less than 15 because of where it happens. Here come the Huskies with plenty of time and a bunch of timeouts in their back pocket.
Light drizzle starting to fall here in Husky Stadium as well. All 3 timeouts to work with, plenty of time on the clock, as Dre indicated. Odunze with a spin move. Close to another Huskies first down.
Wright missed a tackle. They gave Odunze enough room to pick up another Husky first down. So now you're thinking, take care of the football. Inching closer, you don't want to turn it over. Penix is doing his thing. Can't catch the ball, secure it, don't let it hit the turf or bounce off a pad into the air for an interception.
You saw the graphic. No Pac-12 games this year without a field goal attempted. So far tonight, we have not had one. Penix will escape, and we'll make it 2nd and 10. How greedy do you want to get, though, in trying to score a touchdown here with the win?
I'm worried about working the clock right now and taking it down and leaving Oregon State basically nothing. Because if they get it with enough time, they can still operate their offense with 2 timeouts and maybe get in position to score.
That young man from Walla Walla that just caught that pass from Penix.
Yeah.
Put a smile on the face. Peyton Henry trying to stay loose.
He's got one-on-one coverage up top.
5 first downs on this drive so far for the Huskies. We'll set up the screen to Davis. Sent out at the 21.
And Davis just gives them an energy, doesn't he? That, you know, Talapapa, as good as he is in all 3 phases of the game, he just doesn't have the burst that Cameron Davis has.
Well, Andre, you think about the UCLA game. Washington was ranked 15th in the AP Top 25. They've been out of that poll since then. They find a way to win this game tonight against a top 25 team, according to the college football playoff poll. Will find their way back in those rankings next Tuesday night. A lot on the line in these final seconds. Davis is open and a diving grab. That'll be enough for a first down.
What a catch. What a dynamic player. Cameron Davis putting on a show on the most important possession of this game. Out in front, and a nice diving, secure catch by Cameron Davis. And that's with all the pressure right in the face by Andrew Chatfield on Michael Penix.
The 3rd down conversions, the precision passing. Michael Penix.
He's got McMillan wide open right now.
Penix, the pump fake, now will take off. Slides in near the 12. Short gain on first down. Clock winding down. Now at 32 seconds.
Washington's going to take a timeout here with 32 seconds left on the clock. No rush, no hurry. They still have 2 left. This is an excellent, excellent drive.
Accuracy of Michael Penix Jr. dealing with these windy conditions.
This started way back or inside their 5-yard line, and he just went to work, chewing them up in the air. Started on their own 3, 4:33 left in the game before Michael Penix started spraying it around, finding receivers left and right. Guys in his face, doesn't matter. He's accurate with the football.
Leading passer in the country has saved his best for last tonight. He's put up huge numbers, passing touchdowns, yards, obviously.
Well, that's the question. A lot of people, well, can he do it with the game on the line? And there's no doubt about it. This drive is orchestrated the right way and on the arm of Michael Penix Jr.
Davis motions out, empty backfield. Penix 8 of 10 on this drive.
He's got one-on-one coverage.
Jet sweep. Jackson dives across the 5. It'll be first down and goal.
And they still have timeouts, so they can take one and not have to rush here.
24 seconds remain.
Oregon State takes the timeout.
Second charge timeout. Oregon State. 30 seconds.
Missed tackle against Giles Jackson. You talk about an effort to try to get into the end zone. Boy, he dove about or what was it, about the 7-8 yard line or so? That's wanting to get in right there, my friend.
What a game. What a season this has been in the Pac-12 and on Friday nights. Outstanding performance for Michael Penix Jr., who is making his case to be our Friday night phenom. 9 completions on this possession to 5 different receivers. And some last-minute instructions given by his head coach, Kalen DeBoer.
Amazing. Drive started on their own 3, and he has just marched them down to about the 2-yard line of Oregon State. It's been a long night. Look where Colorado came from.
2 timeouts to work with, 24 seconds left. Penix rolls it out, flips it. Incomplete! Davis was open. And a lot happening in that sequence on the 15th play of the drive.
Oladapo with the quick pressure on Penix. And that forced a throw that he may not have been quite ready to make.
Field goal still wins it. Still plenty of time on 2nd and goal. Davis will switch sides. Penix will roll it out again. End zone. Incomplete. McMillan could not corral it, working against Ryan Cooper.
Now 3rd and goal. I don't know. I know they want to take advantage of him and move in the pocket because he's going to get pressure. But he's thrown so well from the pocket that I don't know that I would mess around with that on the most important downs of the game right now. Something quick, find a matchup that you like, and allow a receiver to win.
You're just tuning in, the wind is a factor. Washington not ready to kick the field goal just yet. Penix lines up under center. And he will position his kicker right in the middle of the field in Peyton Henry.
Oregon State's going to use their final timeout.
It all comes down to this.
Oregon State, 30 seconds.
Peyton Henry, now a senior out of Danville, California. 2nd team All Pac-12 back in 2019.
Game clock operator, there should be 12 seconds.
He's had an outstanding career, strong season. What amounts to glorified extra point to win it.
Nothing's given on a windy night. Snap's got to be perfect. The hold has got to be perfect without the laces pointing at the kicker. And of course, he's got to find a way to knock it through on a crazy, crazy night.
Jaden Green is the long snapper. Jack McAllister, the holder. Henry, the kicker. A 22-yard field goal to win it for the Huskies. Henry on the way, and it's good. Penalty flag at the 5. Don't go anywhere just yet.
Personal foul, leaping, number 28 defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The field goal is good.
8 seconds to go. Henry connects, and the Huskies grab the lead for the first time.
Well, last week was East Carolina with 2 seconds left in the game on a Friday night to win it, and then tonight 12 seconds. For the Huskies of Washington, they knocked one through to go up 24-21. Craziness on Friday nights.
Huskies trying to extend their win streak to 3. More importantly, improve to 7-2 overall, 4-2 in the Pac-12. cement their status in the upper echelon of the conference and improve league this year. Big reason why Michael Penix Jr., who has been sensational in tough conditions, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, not to mention the lengthy power outage delay that occurred here in the fourth quarter. And now if you're Oregon State, looking for some kind of miracle. The job Kalen DeBoer has done. Here, number one, coming in from Fresno State, former play caller in Indiana. Won the national championship at the NAIA level at Sioux Falls, where he played football. Now on the verge, continuing this incredible first season. Coletto, the lateral. Brought down at the 2 with 1 second remaining.
Got a flag down.
Let's see. The penalty is those squib kicks can be a bit awkward. Certainly felt that way. Penalty goes against the Huskies. They'll move it out to the 18.
The game clock should be at 3 seconds. Thank you.
We'll add 2 more
The
seconds.
foul was unsportsmanlike conduct on number 10 of the kicking team. That penalty is enforced at the end of the play, 15 yards, first down. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 3 seconds, please. 3 seconds.
Should be the final play. 3 laterals make it 4. Back to Martinez. Racing along the far side. Dumps it off and it's picked off and that'll do it. 24-21 the final score. Ulaninen secures the final turnover. On a night in which the power went out in Seattle, it remained on for the Huskies offense, and they had just enough to win their 3rd straight. 24-21, the final score. What a ball game, and what a finish. Pac-12 After Dark wins the night again. For Andre Ware and Paul Carcaterra, I'm Roy Philpott. And there is a fight happening on the field, and that is not what you want to see after a game like that. We'll keep it here for a moment as things begin to settle down just a little bit. Jeremiah Martin will be escorted away from the sideline. An emotional game, unusual 4th quarter, and that'll do it for us. 24-21, for real this time. For Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra, I'm Roy Philpott. Good night from the Pacific Northwest. Thanks for watching this thriller.